What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be doing live commentary for the Emanuel Navarrete versus Joet Gonzalez main card. And right now in the ring, we have Rojas and Lebron. It is round number 3 of 8. Henry Lebron is undefeated 13-0 with 9 knockouts. And his opponent, Manuel Rojas, is 21-5, I believe, with 6 knockouts. And in the co-main event, we have Giovanni Santian versus Angel Ruiz. That should be a fairly competitive fight. I got Santian by majority decision as of now. And this is a very good card. Very competitive fights on the card as well. And I'm excited for the main event. Emanuel Navarrete, two-weight world champion. He's got some great victories, 2 wins over Isaac Dogbe. His only ever loss came early on in his career. And, I'm really excited for it, as I mentioned before. And I have Navarrete defeating Joet Gonzalez by a unanimous decision. So, Navarrete, as I mentioned before, is a two-weight world champion. He won the Featherweight title against Ruben Villa by a unanimous decision, defended in his last fight against Christopher Diaz. And salute to the people in the chat as well. We have Charles Martin, John Jobber, and Jaguar. Salute to all of you guys, and SAS NYC. And as I mentioned before, we have Rojas and Lebron in the ring. So far, I haven't really been scoring the fight, but it seems like a decent matchup. Lebron seems like a decent young prospect. Right now, Rojas is coming forward trying to land some shots. He just got caught with a beautiful overhand left. And, tonight, the fights are taking place in San Diego, California. Tomorrow night, we also have some fights taking place, I believe, in between Mikey Garcia and Sandor Martin. Mikey Garcia, multi-weight world champion. Sandor Martin, relatively European level. And, it should be a decent fight card. There's also Elwin Soto, I believe, on that card, taking on Jonathan Gonzalez. And it's overall a pretty decent weekend of fights. It's not as good as last weekend with Wilder Fury 3, etc., but it's a decent weekend of fights. Right now, Manuel Rojas is in his corner, and he seems like, he's really trying to come forward and sort of use his physicality over Lebron. He's definitely the bigger man, larger man. And in the chat, SAS NYC also says we have Bridgerweight fighting tomorrow as well, and he's fighting Artur Mann, I believe so. And I'm pretty positive that Bridgerweight should get a knockout victory. And put in the chat below your thoughts on that fight. Anyone who's watching right now, who do you think is going to win? And even all the other fights on today's card and tomorrow's card. And Charles Martin says that he was on the 2012 California Golden Gloves team with Joet Gonzalez. He hopes he wins. It seems like he's a good guy. He's been working hard in the gym. His only ever loss came to Shakur Stevenson, and that's a very good opponent. So, he does have a shot against Gonzalez or against Navarrete. I don't see it. I'm picking Navarrete by a pretty wide and clear unanimous decision. I think that Navarrete is going to use his physicality, his size. Although he is just an inch taller, he's just a super lengthy, powerful fighter that who does love to come forward and bang. So, it should be a decent fight. And right now, we're in the 4th round between Rojas and Lebron. Rojas is still trying to land some wide shots, and he's a very sloppy fighter, it looks like. Seems like he's going to get a 6th taste of defeat. And Lebron, very good Puerto Rican prospect. He's really just trying to catch Rojas on the counter when he's trying to throw with those wide shots that I was mentioning earlier. We see Rojas get caught with another check hook on the outside, and his face is starting to get bruised and red from all of those shots from Lebron. And as I mentioned before, the co-main event, very good fight between Angel Ruiz and Giovanni Santian. Santian is undefeated, 27-0, almost did lose his O to battle-tested veteran Antonio DeMarco. and that was a very competitive fight on ESPN Plus in the bubble last year on one of the first couple of cards back since the pandemic. And I mean, he's coming off another victory over Cecil Makala leading up to this fight, but Angel Ruiz is actually coming off an upset victory on a Ring City USA card over Maminov. I mean, that was a great win for him. It was really, really close in the scorecards, but I thought he went pretty clear with 2 knockdowns. And he was able to upset that prospect in Maminov. But now he's taking on another stiff test, but I think that Santian should get the job done and win like a majority decision. I think the scorecards could be like 95-95, 96-94. I think it should be a competitive fight. And more into the fight going on right now. It's really just, it seems like the same stuff. I mean, I shouldn't say Santian, I should say Rojas. Rojas is really just the one coming forward, trying to force the fight, and he's just getting caught very sloppy, leaving his forehead, chin, side of his head open for big hooks. And I mean, he's really getting hit, and Lebron is capitalizing on Rojas' sloppiness. And we just saw again Rojas miss a check left hook, it looked like, and I mean, he almost just got countered once again. So, 4th round just ended. Right now we are in the break. They're showing a preview to the co-main event. As I mentioned before, should be a really, really good fight. And yeah, I mean, this is overall a very decent Friday night card. And earlier on this card, we also had 6'9" Mexican heavyweight prospect, and you rarely see Mexican fighters at heavyweight. And his name is Antonio Mireles. He got a first-round knockout victory over Demonte Randall. I mean, that's a good win for him. I mean, Randall, only other time he's been stopped was in the 3rd round to another debuting heavyweight. And he did have the huge height advantage over Randall, and he easily got a knockout. We were also able to see another Mexican prospect in Lindolfo Delgado. He got a great victory over Mendez. And I mean, this is overall decent card. And Jaguar says that he's liking these Friday night fights, and I am as well. Very decent card. And we also saw Floyd Cashflow Diaz get a victory. We saw Javier Martinez, who also is training with Robert Garcia, and we'll get to see Robert Garcia later tonight in the main event, I believe, in the corner with Joet Gonzalez. And we'll also be able to see him tomorrow night in his corner with Mikey Garcia. And that should be a decent fight. And my thoughts on that fight, I think Mikey Garcia is just overall the better fighter. I mean, he's really just world class. His only loss came to Errol Spence Jr. And for Sandor Martin, he's really just Euro level. His losses have come to an unknown opponent in Spain, and he's also lost to Anthony Yiggett. So, I can't really see him getting a victory over Mikey Garcia, who's so polished and so experienced in the pro game, especially at that top level. Although they do have a similar amount of fights, Sandor Martin's 37-2, Mikey Garcia is 40-1, or I believe Martin's either 37 or 38-2. But here we are in the 5th round between Rojas and Lebron. Rojas, as I mentioned before, really just coming forward, trying to dictate the pace, but it's not really working. I'm not really scoring this fight, but it seems like Lebron is winning clearly, and I would say so. I mean, Lebron landing the better shots, it looks like, not really getting hit, doesn't have any scratches. I know boxing isn't really based off of facial damage in general, but I mean, he really looks like he's the one who's winning here. Top Rank also has some decent fights coming up on the 30th. They got Zepeda fighting the 23rd. We also get to see Shakur Stevenson and Jamel Herring. Then on November 20th, we get to see Sean Porter take on Terrence Crawford. That's definitely Terrence Crawford's toughest test, and I'm very, very excited for that fight. And I want to say thank you to John Jobber in the chat, who's saying excellent job. I appreciate that. And this is my first ever live stream. I was very eager to do this. Shout out to Mighty Max Boxing. He is my inspiration to start doing these live streams. Go check his channel out. Another great young YouTuber in the boxing world. And yeah, Santian, or I shouldn't say Santian, Rojas is still coming forward, trying to land a double jab, misses both. Nice right hand by Lebron as he just counters Rojas while he was trying to go into the corner. And the fifth round coming to an end, and that is it for the fifth round. It seems like Lebron is undefeated. In the chat, we have SAS NYC saying rank the 4 featherweight champs. I believe we have Emanuel Navarrete. If you want to count Lee Wood, he's the regular champion. Also, Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell Jr., Kid Galahad. I'd probably say Emanuel Navarrete is my favorite personally because, I mean, he's just so active. He's very fun to watch. But when it comes to resume, I mean, Kid Galahad does have some great wins. Gary Russell Jr., one major step back is that he's very inactive. So I'd say probably the best featherweight, in my opinion, is Navarrete. Second, I mean, there's just so many great champions in this weight class. But, I mean, a lot of them are inactive, and some of them, their resumes might be lacking. Like Leo Santa Cruz, he isn't too active. Russell isn't that active as well. And shout out to Unrivaled Boxing Talk in the chat. I appreciate him. Go check out his channel. I appreciate that. He's got a great channel. Another great channel that I would watch a lot, or still watch a lot of, and go subscribe to him, like I said before. And yeah, when it comes to the champions in featherweight, as I mentioned before, number 1 will probably be Emanuel Navarrete for me. Number 2, maybe Kid Galahad. 3, or number 2, Gary Russell Jr. Number 3, Kid Galahad. 4, Leo Santa Cruz. And 5, I'm going to have to put Lee Wood. And I'm going to count him as a champion, considering he has that regular world title. But, yeah, we are in the 6th round between Rojas and Lebron. Rojas landing a double jab, missed his right hand, almost sort of turned in from a straight right to an uppercut. He missed that. But Lebron catching Rojas with another jab. I mean, Lebron, although he's the smaller man, he's definitely shorter than Rojas. He definitely has a shorter reach, but he is capitalizing on, as I mentioned earlier many times, Rojas' sloppiness, where he's just able to counter, find openings, land better shots, land the more effective shots, and land some pretty good counters. Rojas has been stopped before. He's been stopped once, I believe, early on, and that opponent was Andy Vences, and Vences is a very good fighter. He got knocked out in 2 rounds by Vences, and that was in 2015. His last loss, however, was in 2021, in April 10th, from the Osage Casino in Tulsa, and that was, I believe, on the Joe Smith versus Maxim Vlasov card, and he lost by unanimous decision. But he also has a loss to Felix Verdejo. He's lost to Casey Ramos, Alexis DeBosque, and Steve Trumbull. Or not Steve Trumbull. He's also, as I mentioned before, that loss to Alexis DeBosque. But he also has a victory over some other fighters as well. I mean, his best victory, I would say, probably a victory over Zimin Wang. That's a prospect from China. He won by a 10-round unanimous decision. And he also has a split decision over Noel Enchevara. Sorry if I'm saying his name incorrectly. And he also has a victory over Tyler McCreary, who was a 16-1 opponent back in June of 2021. Right now, I believe it is the 6th or the 7th round coming to an end here. This fight, seemingly, as I mentioned earlier, it seems like Lebron is the one winning. He's seemingly landing the better, cleaner, more effective shots. And, I mean, he just seems like the better man and just really better fighter. And, I mean, he's really the A-side in this fight. He's the prospect. And, I mean, it seems like a good showcase for him. And I just want to talk a bit about the fights last week. And I also just want to say thank you to everyone for subscribing to my channel recently. I mean, literally last weekend I was at 600 subscribers. Now I'm at 1,300, so I really appreciate all the recent support. And SAS NYC says in the chat, um, what do I think of the Bridgerweight division? I made a video about this in November of 2020, back when it was announced, or October, whenever it was. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of it. I think this was not really a needed weight class. Maybe we could have had a weight class between 175 and cruiserweight, or light heavyweight and cruiserweight. I mean, I just don't really see why a 224-pound weight class is needed. There's not a lot of great fighters there. I mean, their best fighters like Oscar Rivas, and Rivas is a top 15 at best heavyweight. And I mean, Rivas isn't even fighting Jennings. I believe he's fighting some unbeaten Canadian cruiserweight who doesn't really have any big wins, so Rivas should get an easy victory, an easy title win there. But I really think the WBC could have made another weight class, like I said before, at 175, or between 175 and 200 pounds, like maybe 185-pound weight class, something like that. I know the UFC has one of those. That's their middleweight division. And yeah, I mean, 224 pounds doesn't have a lot of variety. And I'm just going to pull up the WBC Bridgerweight rankings right now and just take a look at those and list off some of the names. And I don't believe it. I mean, they have a lot of blown up cruiserweights, a lot of sort of drop down heavyweights like Oscar Rivas, and Sucha Jaguar in the chat. Once again, saying channel's growing, great job. I really appreciate that. So at number one, they got Oscar Rivas, obviously. Number two, Evgeny Romanov. He did get that victory over, I believe, Kudryashov. He won by unanimous decision. Brian Jennings, number three. Lukas Rozanski, number four. Rozanski coming off a great win over Artur Spilka, knocked him out, I believe, in one round. And Alan Babic, number five. I mean, I'm not sure why he's there. I know that he's been getting some victories over some sort of low European level opponents, but I don't think he should be number five in that weight class. Then number six, they have Aliev. He's a decent fighter. They have Bilal Lagoon, Joltan Boyjeko. I mean, I'm not really too sure why Joltan Boyjeko is ranked that high at number eight, considering he does, or I believe he is coming off that loss to Tony Yoka. But number nine, they have Andrei Fedosov. That's a good spot. I mean, maybe he should be ranked higher because he's coming off a really good win over Mohammad Rasul Majidov, who was a prospect and he was the underdog, knocked him out in, I believe, like 1 or 2 rounds. That was a great victory for him. And number 10, there is former long-reigning cruiserweight champion Marco Huck. I mean, in recent time, he hasn't been too great, but I mean, he's fighting at a mix of like heavyweight, cruiserweight. So I mean, I think Bridgerweight's a decent weight class for him. Number 11, Jerry Forrest. He's coming off, I believe, a hard-fought draw against Eli Zhang. Yeah, in that fight, I mean, he did prove that he has a lot of heart. He got up from multiple knockdowns, battled back to what I thought was a win for him. I thought he won that fight by like 1 point. It was a really good fight. And I mean, Zhang was 6'8", or is 6'8". Jerry Forrest is like 6'2", 6'3", maybe, give or take. And he was the smaller man. And yeah, he put on a great performance. And then number 12, there's an unknown opponent named an unknown fighter named Samuel Kaji from France. Don't really know too much about him. Number 13, they have Artur Spilka. Former heavyweight world title challenger, coming off that loss to Lukas Rozanski in a crazy fight where they both traded knockdowns before Spilka got stopped. Then they have Carlos Welch. I never heard of him. And then number 15, they have Herve Hubier. Sorry if I'm saying his name incorrectly. I know who he is. He's a fighter from Belgium, relatively smaller heavyweight when it comes to size, but he's 6'4", so his height, I mean, it's decent height for a heavyweight. But he's ranked in Bridgerweight. That's their top 15 rankings. And that guy, Herve Huvier, sorry if I'm saying his name incorrectly once again. But, he's got some decent victories, most notably beating Jack Malawai. And in the chat, we have that Gassiev belongs at Bridgerweight. And, I mean, I would agree. I can't really see Gassiev beating a lot of the top guys at heavyweight. I mean, we see where BoxRec has Gassiev ranked, and I just don't think that's true. BoxRec has Mirak Gassiev ranked number 11. I can't really see how. I mean, he's got 2 wins at heavyweight. I mean, he's weighed in at 230 and 234 pounds respectively, but you have to remember he's coming off beating 2 journeymen in the heavyweight division, beating Nuri Seferi by knockout in round 1, and he's also beating Michael Valish in a fight that Valish actually was able to outbox Mirak Gassiev for a round, but still he did get the victory. And I don't know why he got so many points in the BoxRec ranking system for beating guys like that. But at cruiserweight, he was dominant up until he did, obviously, as most of you guys know, lose to Alexander Usyk in dominant fashion, lost by unanimous decision. And more onto the fight card right now here in San Diego. Rojas seemingly losing to Lebron. And we're going to get the scorecards in a minute and a half, hopefully. So, yeah, Lebron doesn't look like he has a scratch on him. Just got Rojas chopped with a beautiful counter right hand. Rojas trying to land a jab, misses or gets his right hand blocked to the solar plex, misses another right hand, gets jabbed to the head. You could go watch this fight as well on ESPN Plus. Watch it along with me. And, drop down your thoughts and comments below. And we have Cone Gaming in the chat. Salute to him. He's saying, he didn't know that I did lives, but this is the first ever live stream I've ever done. So I appreciate you checking it out. And, give your thoughts and predictions on these fights down below. And all of you guys in the chat, comment down below who you think is going to win in the co-main event between Giovanni Santian and Angel Ruiz, and in the main event between Emanuel Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez. And comment down below your thoughts on even the fights next week between Shakur Stevenson and Jamel Herring. That should be a really exciting fight next Saturday, October 23rd. And, even tomorrow night between Martin and Garcia, even Elwin Soto and Jonathan Rodriguez. Overall decent fight. Or Jonathan Gonzalez, my mistake. But, the fight just ended right here between Lebron and Rojas. Lebron raising his hand in victory. Seemingly, he should be the winner. And they're just showing some highlights here, showing a lot of the counter lefts and big punches that Rojas was hit with because of leaving his guard open and trying to throw wildly with shots. He really just got countered all night. And in the chat we have Briadas' fight is on TV anywhere. I couldn't really find anything with that fight. And also tomorrow night we have Hughie Fury taking on Christian Hammer, and we'll talk more about that fight later on. But I couldn't really find any where the Briadas versus Artur Mann fight could be. I thought it might have been on DAZN, and it seems like it's not, and it's in Latvia, so I would presume it's only on European television. So I just couldn't really find anywhere. Oh, and Cone Game actually said it's on Facebook Live. I hope that's correct. I'll check that out tomorrow. Appreciate that. And Cone Gaming also says, I rate Navarrete really highly, but I'm getting tired of him fighting Shakur leftovers. And if I think they are ever going to make a fight with Galahad. I could definitely see why you're getting tired of him fighting Shakur leftovers. I did mention that in my prediction video. Because, these opponents that he is fighting are, like, top 15 level. Joet Gonzalez, somewhere around there, top 14, top 15. And same with Christopher Diaz, like, top 20. And, he should maybe step it up a bit when it comes to the competition. And I can't really see them making a Galahad fight, honestly. They could definitely make a Shakur fight if Shakur ever, or if Navarrete ever moves up, or if Shakur fights maybe a couple fights back down at 126. But, we're getting the scorecards right now for the fight right now. All three judges are in agreement. And they scored 80-72. seemingly the winner should be Henry Lebron. And Lebron does get the job done. Official decision, all three judges scoring it 80-72. And he improves to 14-0. But more back onto what I was saying, I can't really see them making a Kid Galahad fight. Most likely, when you look at the other champions, all these fights between these champs at featherweight seem like they can't really be made. Kid Galahad, now he's fighting Kiko Martinez. That's just the fight that no one was really expecting. I think that Zelfa Barrett actually should be fighting Kid Galahad. I don't really see why they're putting Kiko Martinez in there. That's just sort of seems like a stay busy fight for Kid Galahad, because I would have expected him to fight the winner of Warrington versus Lara too, but obviously that ended in that technical draw / no contest, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, Kiko Martinez, yeah, he's coming off a loss, or his last defeat was to Zelfa Barrett, but he is coming off a victory in Spain over a lower level opponent. And for Kid Galahad, he's coming off that victory over James Dickens for the vacant IBF title, and that was a great win for him. And I would have expected him to make a fight with, Lee Wood, someone like that. And we have in the chat that Martinez got robbed in his last fight, and I would agree that the fight was really competitive. I can't really remember my exact scorecard, but I just remember it was a really competitive fight. But he did lose that fight by, I believe, majority decision. And I think in the UK it was actually unanimous. I forgot that. And the scorecards weren't that great. I remember one judge at least having it really close, but two judges had it 118-111, because in the UK they love giving 10-10 rounds, and another judge had it 116-113, which, are all just weird scores to see on paper, but still, they thought that Zelfa Barrett won that fight clear. But, I remember it being a really competitive fight. And SASNYC says Eddie Hearn even admitted it, and I'm sure he did. And hopefully I could pull up that clip later on and check that out. But more into the featherweight division, what could be next for Emanuel Navarrete immediately? I'm assuming that he gets the victory in this fight. When you look at the rankings, they just updated it. They just have Joet Gonzalez at number 9, actually. I don't really see why. He hasn't really got any big relevant wins. He's coming off probably one of his better wins over Miguel Mariaga. His other best victories come over Manuel Lavilla and Rafael Rivera, but otherwise, he doesn't really have any excellent wins on his resume that would really get him into that top 10. I'd say he's more top 15 level. And also in the featherweight rankings, BoxRec has Navarrete number 1, Leo Santa Cruz 2, Kid Galahad number 3. And Leo Santa Cruz, he hasn't fought since that shocking, brutal knockout loss to Gervonta Davis, and that was a brutal defeat. And yeah, he has not fought since. And in that fight he challenged for both his super featherweight title. His featherweight title was not on the line, and Davis's, I believe, lightweight belt was also there in that fight. And number 4, they have Lee Wood. That's BoxRec. I can't really see how they have Lee Wood number 4. I would really put either Mauricio Lara or Josh Warrington at 4 or 5 respectively. At 5, they have Isaac Dogbe. Dogbe's coming off, I believe, that good win over Adam Lopez. I did predict that fight. I'm very proud of that prediction. Got it right. But yeah, that was a competitive fight where Isaac Dogbe did fight pretty composed, and he fought pretty well. And we're just getting ready for a co-main event between Giovanni Santian and Angel Ruiz. I will be scoring this fight. And if you're watching it live too, comment in the chat your thoughts and who you think is winning the rounds. We see Santian wearing the Everlast gloves in red. His robe and his trunks are white and gold. He's 29 years old, 27-0 with 15 knockouts, both coming off some decent victories. Ruiz, as I mentioned earlier, coming off that win over Mamionov, and for Santian, he is also coming off a fairly decent win, if I'm just able to pull that up. Uh, this is in the welterweight division. If you did not know, Santian is currently ranked in the top 30 by BoxRec at number 26, and he's coming off unanimous decision win over Cecil Makala. And he's walking to the ring right now. Seems ready, seems composed, and Cohn says in the chat that he thought that Santian lost to DeMarco. I remember watching that fight. I was not scoring it, but I remember thinking that DeMarco is going to upset this fighter with this excellent record. And, I mean, it looked like a war from what I was watching. And the judges had it really, really close. They had it 6-4 and 5-5 respectively. And, I mean, I'm just going to take a look at the BoxRec average scorecards, and they actually had it in favor of Antonio DeMarco 95-94. Or if you want to round up, they had it a draw. So it seems like it was a fairly competitive fight. And we have both fighters in the ring right now, I believe so. And 10 rounds in the welterweight division we are ready for. Angel Ruiz and Giovanni Santian. Should be a decent fight. Mark Chinook announcing both fighters right now, announcing all three judges. Giovanni Santian, I believe I've also seen him a couple times earlier on in his career. As for Angel Ruiz, the only time I ever saw him fight was against Babrizon Maminov, as I mentioned earlier, back in April of 2021, where he did get that upset victory, scoring 2 knockdowns. And those knockdowns were brutal. I mean, I don't know how Maminov got up from those shots, because he really just got hit on the temple with Ruiz's check hooks. And Ruiz is 24 years old, fighting at Tijuana, Mexico, and coming off a unanimous decision victory. It was just announced now. I mean, he has a good trainer. He's training with Manny Robles. We saw Charles Martin in the chat earlier on. He's also trained by Manny Robles, great trainer, respectively. Or should I say Robert Garcia in the corner with Giovanni Santian. Santian fighting out of and representing San Diego, California, here in his hometown. We see all these top guys in his corner, but is he going to deliver tonight? This could be one of his better victories. And if he wins, I mean, what is next for Santian? I think this should be a competitive fight. But according to BoxRec, I mean, Santian does have a heavy edge when it comes to the rankings. I believe Ruiz is ranked like number 105, 106. Santian, as I mentioned earlier, is ranked number 26. And if Santian wins, I mean, I don't really know any exact opponent he could face. Maybe someone at the level like a top 40, top 30, anywhere from the top 40 to the top 25 in the welterweight division. Now we're getting ready for this fight. Both fighters in their corners ready for the bell to sound. Cohn says I'm going to go with Santian because he's more familiar with him, and I could see that. I do agree. I'm going with Santian as well. And first bell just sounded. Santian coming forward. Same with Ruiz. Ruiz firing out 2 jabs, misses. Santian misses a jab of his own. Check right hook from Ruiz just partially lands. Jab from Santian. Santian gets caught with the left hand. Both of these fighters are southpaws. Ruiz seeming tentative, trying to land good counter shots. Santian missed 2 hooks on the inside. The fight seems like it should be a firecracker. I mean, both fighters starting out strong, and a big power jab from Santian as he's coming forward. Left hand seems like it partially landed on the top of the head for Ruiz. 1-2 misses, and Santian comes. The 1-2 miss from Ruiz. Santian now coming forward, landing some shots of his own. Santian seeming like the one trying to control the fight. Coming forward, Ruiz is the bigger man by just a bit. Ruiz seems like he's the one with more power, I would say. Oh, big left hand from Ruiz. Gets through the guard. It sort of started as a left straight, then changed up to an uppercut, it looked like, with the glove facing up. And that was a good shot from Ruiz. Ruiz now getting backed up a bit, and Ruiz catches Santian with another hook on the outside, and Santian pops Ruiz's head back with the jab. Uppercut again from Ruiz. Ruiz might have hurt Santian with that uppercut on the inside. Ruiz is now the one pressing the action. This is a very good fight. And yeah, I mean, it's what it was brought up to be. Two very um, good fighters. This is really a crossroads match. Both fighters really have similar resumes when you really look at it. But Santian is undefeated with that outstanding 27-0 record. Ruiz also has a good record, and Ruiz just gets caught with a left hand over the top, misses a huge left hand of his own. I mean, Ruiz came into great shape for this fight. Same with Santian. Both seemed like they worked hard in their camps respectively. Combination from Santian just lands off the gloves. 1-2 misses from Ruiz. Ruiz now stalking in the middle of the ring. Santian misses a jab. Left hand barely grazes the chin of Santian. Both connect with the jab. Oh, big left hand, a 1-2 from Santian, catching Ruiz off the ropes. This is a very close round. Another jab from Santian. I might have to add this round to Santian based off of his work rate. Ruiz seeming like he's really the fighter that's trying to counter. I mean, this round could go either way, to be honest, but I'm just going to edge it a bit to Santian since he was really the one pressing the action a bit. So I have a 10-9 Santian after round one. Comment down below, or comment in the chat how you guys have this fight scored. So what could be next for either fighter? The winner could fight a guy like Javier Molina, someone like that. We've seen Javier Molina fight on Top Rank ESPN before. Now he's got some other big fights on other programs. We saw him fight against, I believe, Amir Imam in 2020 on the Wilder Fury 2 card. We saw him fight against Pedraza, as I mentioned earlier, and we saw him fight against Jesus Alejandro Ramos. So we could see the winner fight a possible, like Javier Molina, someone at that level. So as I mentioned before, I gave the first round to Santian. I think that he's just had a bit of the better shots, or he was really working harder, and they just did show a Ruiz uppercut that could sway my opinion, but I'll still give that round to Santian. I did like his jabs as well. Was throwing a lot of power jabs, but that was a really close round. It could go either way. Santian now lands another jab, throwing combinations. Left hand gets just around the guard. Another left hand by Santian. Jab to the body from Ruiz. Combination from Ruiz. Jab followed by a right hand. Big combination from Santian. Flurries of shots to the head of Ruiz. Ruiz seemingly like he's doing worse this round. Seems like he took a lot from himself in that first round. Now we see Ruiz trying to land an uppercut. Partially lands off the glove of Santian. Now we see Santian missing a jab. Santian misses a left hand, but then Ruiz fires back with a double right hook combination. Right hook to the body from Santian. Santian now throwing more combinations to the head, to the body. Oh, big left hand from Santian lands. Seems like Ruiz rolled with it with his head, but still landed clean. Dominator lands another left hand, but Ruiz does back him up with a uppercut that seemingly landed maybe on the chest or the neck area, maybe the chin. But Santian catches Ruiz again with a left hand. But now an uppercut from Ruiz, and those Ruiz uppercuts might start really working for him as the fight goes on because he is the bigger man. And now we see Santian catch Ruiz again. Sorry about that. But yeah, Santian now seemingly more composed towards the end of this round, and two left and a right hook from Ruiz to the body of Santian. Good shots right there. Body shot from Ruiz, uppercut, now a left hand. He is landing at will here. Big shots from Ruiz. Ruiz doing far better in the last 30 seconds of this round than he was doing in the first minute and a half, 2 minutes or so. Uppercut slightly lands. Left hook now from Ruiz. Both exchanging with uppercuts. Santian now with another flurry of punches. Santian catches him with a jab. Ruiz trying to land shots of his own. Ruiz gets caught again with a jab. Big jab pushes the head of Ruiz back. And I'm going to give that round to Santian. I think that was far more clear than the first round. I mean, it could be 1-1, could be 2-0 Santian, but I give the first round to Santian. Might want to switch that later if I want to rewatch this fight. It seems like a good fight to rewatch. Fairly competitive and fun. But I'll edge that to Santian. So I have a 20-18 in favor of Santian as of now. Drop in the chat your scorecards up until this point, and who you think is winning the fight. Showing some highlights from that second round. Big shots from Santian, showing those flurries, and even those body shots from Ruiz. He did land some nice shots in there. Ruiz, 27-0, as I mentioned earlier. That's a flawless, outstanding record. But can he keep it here in this tough fight with Angel Ruiz? Third round just about to get started. And the bell sounds. Ruiz getting caught with a 1-2. Santian lands a combination. Santian now tries to go with a 1-2-3, and those shots all were blocked. Santian throwing a lot of punches, now landing a lot, but a big check right hand from Ruiz, and now a left hand to the body from him as well. Backs up Santian. Both fighters stalking each other in the center of the ring. Ruiz misses a jab. Left hand over the top just grazed the temple of Ruiz. Ruiz gets caught with a double jab. Check right hook from Ruiz. Just misses. Uppercut to the body. Seemingly could have been low from Ruiz. Ruiz now trying to land off the ropes. And a big uppercut in the left hand from Santian. Santian having some success. Ruiz tells him to bring it on. And Ruiz gets caught again with the left hand from Santian. Ruiz is now getting caught with some big shots from Santian. Santian now landing an up jab. Body shot again from Ruiz. Referee tells him to keep it up. Could have been low. Santian catches him with another jab. Ruiz moving around the ring, trying to get a good counter shot, and he gets caught with another left hand. Ruiz seemingly is starting to get more tired, even though it's only round 3. Seems like he gave a lot in that first round, and now he's getting hit a lot, and then that could take away a lot of his stamina. He lands a big right hand. Both of them were exchanging in the center of the ring. Santian was landing a flurry of punches, and then Ruiz caught him with a beautiful counter hook that sent the swift flying off of his head. Big shots from both fighters. Ruiz lands a left hand, and 1-2 from Ruiz. Seems like that just grazed Santian or just missed. Uppercut and a left hand from Santian. Last 50 seconds of the third round. Seems like Santian is edging this one. Left hand, and now counter shots from Ruiz off the ropes. Referee warns Ruiz again, and Ruiz gets caught with a combination. Ruiz pumps his chest as if to say, I need more from Santian. Santian now getting hit. Ruiz throwing big power hooks in frustration. Ruiz lands another counter right hand, and the last 10 seconds of the third round, I'm going to have to add that round to Santian. Ruiz lands just grazing left hand over the top, big shot. Santian shakes his head as if to say, that did not hurt me. So I have a 30-27 in favor of Santian. It could be 29-28. But I think that Santian had the better work in that third round. First round was fairly competitive. Once again, just drop down in the chat who you have winning this fight so far, and your scorecard. They're just showing some more highlights from Santian in round number 3. Santian landing some big shots. Definitely a clear round for him. Fourth round coming up now. Co-main event. Navarrete versus Gonzalez, the main event. WBO Featherweight World title. Pretty excited for that fight. Just about to start. Bell about to sound for the fourth round, as I mentioned before. And we just got started. Fourth round between Santian. Santian lands a jab, misses a right hand, comes out firing with a 1-2. So far through 3 rounds, punch stats 73 to 50 landed in favor of Santian. Santian seemingly doing the better work. Hand, I don't know if that landed or if Santian slipped. It looked like he might have slipped on the canvas a bit when that shot did just graze him. But he seems okay, so it was probably a slip. Santian lands another jab, and Ruiz goes slipping in the center of the ring. Maybe there's some water there on that Top Rank logo right at the center, but we saw some water just fly off the head, some sweat fly off the head of Ruiz as Santian landed a left hand over the top. Big shot from Santian. Santian now stalking Ruiz, coming forward, landing combinations off the ropes. Body shot again from Ruiz. Santian really now he's just backing up Ruiz and taking control of this fight. It seems like he could win this fight like 100 to 90 or 99-91. But just as I say that, Ruiz lands a left hand over the top of his own. Santian getting caught with jabs. Now Ruiz trying to come forward and show that he could to show that he's in this fight and that he could really make it competitive. But just as I say that, Santian lands a beautiful left hand, sort of making Ruiz drop his hands and sort of duck down to get away from that shot. And Santian now in the clinch with Ruiz. Santian trying to push him away. Santian gets caught with a right hand over the top. Nice shot from Ruiz. Ruiz lands a body shot. Santian comes over the top with a left hand. Right hand from Santian. Now against the ropes again. Another right hand from Santian, or left hand, I should say, because he's southpaw. Double uppercut from Santian. Triple uppercut again. Both fighters trading on the ropes. Very exciting, great action. Action-packed welterweight fight right now. Great co-main event. Santian landing combinations off the ropes right now. Body shot from Santian. Now he's back to backing up. Ruiz seemingly taking control of this fight. Referee makes them sort of touch gloves as if to warn them for something. Santian lands a left hand of his own. Ruiz backing up, seemingly trying to recover from that left hand, but Ruiz does come back with a check hook in the last 10 seconds, just about to end the fourth round between Giovanni Santian and Angel Ruiz. Main event, 12 rounds, WBO Featherweight Championship between Emanuel Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez. I gave that round to Santian. So far, I have a 40-36 in favor of Santian. As a one swing round, could be the first round, could be 39-37, but the other rounds were pretty clear in favor of Santian. Round one maybe was a round that was really edged in favor of Ruiz. He did lots, and it might be able to change that if I were to rewatch that, because Ruiz did land some nice uppercuts in that first round, and now they're just showing some of the uppercuts Santian landed in that fourth round when he was throwing triple, double uppercuts off the ropes. And drop in the chat your scorecard for this fight and even your predictions for the main event tonight, or even any of the fights coming up. Fifth round just about to start between Santian and Ruiz. Ruiz meets Santian in the center of the ring, and Santian comes out jabbing, triple jab. 2 of them seemingly landed. In the last round, the stats are in for the power punches. Santian landed 19 to Ruiz's 14. Ruiz clasps his gloves together after getting caught, and both of them are trading at the center of the ring. We have a lot of action here in San Diego. Great fight between these two welterweights. And now Santian getting caught with Another shot from Ruiz, using his reach and advantages right there. Santian misses a left hand but lands a jab. Throws a 1-2 but does sort of graze and lands partially. And big uppercut now from Ruiz as both fighters now digging to the body. Very action-packed fight. Left hand from Santian on the chin. Ruiz tried to roll with it and seemed like he did. And big double uppercut from Santian. Flies the sweat off Ruiz's head. Big shots from Santian. Santian now goes to the body. Uppercut to the head from Santian. Left hand from Santian. Right hand now from Ruiz. Uppercut from Ruiz. Pretty action-packed and exciting fight. Now Santian throwing combinations off the ropes, landing on Ruiz, whilst Ruiz is trying to sort of lure Santian in with a counter in the blue corner. And we see here referee breaking both fighters up after they were in the clinch. Ruiz now missing a left hand, getting caught now with a 1-2 from Santian. And in the chat we have Devony says who won the Navarrete fight. The fight did not start yet. Right now we're in the 5th round of scheduled 10 between Giovanni Santian and Angel Ruiz. That is the co-main event. Main event is obviously Navarrete, the fight you were asking about. And the fight has not started yet, but you can stick around, join in with the comment, or join in dropping your thoughts in the fights in the chat and your predictions. I mean, I'm thinking Navarrete should get the job done, and I'm thinking Santian should get a points win here, and it's seemingly like it's going on that route, but Navarrete has not fought yet to formally answer your question. But he should be fighting in the next maybe 25 minutes, I would say, maybe later, 20-25 minutes. But Santian lands 1 or 2 double hooks of his own. Ruiz throwing some combinations. Very fun round, somewhat competitive round, but I'm still edging that one, or this one, to Santian just as it's coming to an end. And after 5 rounds, I will have it 50-40. Comment in the chat your thoughts on this fight, and who do you think is winning it thus far? A lot of action throughout. First round, seemingly the most fun round of the fight and competitive, but we're in the 5th round, or the 5th round just ended, going into the 6th, and it seems like Santian is just really landing some of the better shots throughout the fight. That's why I have him winning. And I said I was going to talk about this fight later on, but tomorrow night there's also, or tomorrow evening for those who are in the United States, or tomorrow afternoon, whatever, Huey Fury is taking on Christian Hammer. And I imagine that fight too, Huey Fury by unanimous decision, somewhere like a 99-91, 100-90, 90-92 maybe, like a wide decision for Fury. I mean, he's a far taller man, he's the better, more polished boxer, and he should be able to box Christian Hammer with ease and get the job done. And I mean, that's a very decent win and could get him higher ranked by BoxRec, etc. So just starting the 6th round, 2 minutes 45 seconds left. Santian coming on with a jab here. Ruiz now jabbing. I'm trying to sort of mimic Santian. Ruiz jabs to the body. Sorry about that. Santian jabbing to the head. Jab again from Santian. Check hook just grazes the chin of Santian. Jabs now from Ruiz, and Ruiz gets caught back foot with a beautiful left hand, and he rolls with it again by Santian. Santian now coming forward, engages in the clinch. Referee's going to have to break them up. Ropes. Ruiz ducking down a bit, getting caught with big shots from Santian, and now he's firing back with 2 double right hooks of his own. Santian in the clinch once again with Ruiz, and he throws another combination off the ropes, and a beautiful left hand from Santian. Ruiz is getting backed up. He's getting outworked at this point. This fight is much more wide in favor of Santian than I would have expected. I mean, Santian's really in my opinion, clearly winning these rounds. I mean, who knows how the judges will have it, but I'm pretty sure Santian should be ahead in this fight. Maybe 4-1, something like that, 5-0. I can't really see it being 3-2. I mean, maybe if you're super generous to Ruiz, and Ruiz getting caught here on the ropes with a double uppercut combination from Santian. But now, I mean, Santian's still on the ropes, landing his shots, dictating the pace. And, I mean, those shots off the ropes are really helping Santian win these rounds. If you're just joining us, it is the 6th round, 55 seconds left between Giovanni Santian and Angel Ruiz in our co-main event. Main event, Emanuel Navarrete versus Joet Gonzalez. My prediction for these two fights to come in event, the main event, was Santian by decision, and Emanuel Navarrete also by decision. Santian now landing a beautiful left hand. I mean, went to the body first, followed up with a left hand to the head, knocking the head back of Ruiz. Another jab from Santian, rocked his head back like a bobblehead. Now Santian trying to dig to the body. Ruiz digs to the body. And both fighters engaging in the clinch, seeming like they're getting a bit more tired because they're throwing so much leather here. This is a very fun fight. 6th round just about to come to an end. Combination from Santian misses. Another jab lands for Santian in the left hand, followed by a right hand from Ruiz. And I'm going to give that 6th round to Santian. I have it 6-0 Santian, but this is a fun fight. There was a lot of competitive rounds, but I think Santian is edging it and landing the better shots. Comment in the chat how you have it scored so far, and even just any questions I'll answer. Generally, when it comes to the fight game, upcoming fights, who I have ranked, and so on. Showing some highlights here now off the Top Rank broadcast, ESPN Plus broadcast, showing some of the nice shots that Ruiz did land at the end of the 6th round, and Santian did have some better work early on into the middle of that 6th round. But now, 7th round just about to start between Giovanni Santian and Angel Ruiz. Both fighters meeting at the center of the ring. Bell sounds. 2 minutes and 53 seconds left. Jab from Santian, another jab, seeming like that was a check hook, an up jab from Santian, right hook, now from Ruiz, uppercut from Ruiz, and the jab that knocks the head back of Santian was sort of an up jab, and I love when fighters throw that, sort of puts their opponent off guard, and, I mean, could hurt them and set up a big knockout punch. We see Santian now jabbing again, and this jab of Santian is really what's helping him set up his shots here at this fight and back up Ruiz, and it's a great key of his in his possible fights later on. And I mean, it seems like he has a very decent jab. And now Santian goes to the body, a combination left to the body, right hand to the body as well, off the ropes. Once again, Ruiz being the one on the ropes, and a big uppercut from Santian makes the sweat fly off of Ruiz's head. Referee breaks both of them up in the clinch now. Santian lands a right hook of his own. Left hand just grazes the nose and the chin of Ruiz. Ruiz now engaging in the clinch, holding the arms of Santian. He's still on the ropes, and this is where Ruiz can't fight in this part. I mean, he's really just getting picked apart and just losing these rounds because he's not doing enough off those ropes. His trainer, Manny Rojas, definitely has to give him some more pointers on what he could do to sort of lure Santian into a trap. And Santian now missing big, and that's where Ruiz could land a big shot, but Ruiz just got caught with a beautiful left hand by Santian. I mean, Ruiz is now trying to counter and play rope-a-dope with Santian and make him fly into a shot, but it's not really working because both fighters are exchanging when Ruiz tries to fire back with his own off the ropes. And that was here, Ruiz actually having some success just as I say that to critique him. But yeah, referee now breaks them up again. Both of them now at the center of the ring. uppercut from Ruiz, jab from Santian, left hand by Santian. Santian lands a combination off the ropes. Ruiz is, as I said earlier, he needs to stop going against the ropes. I know it might be hard for him considering that Santian's really just pressuring him, but he's getting caught. Oh, big right hand or left hand, I should say, from Ruiz off the ropes from, catching Santian off guard. Big shot that was. Santian took it well, but it was a huge left hand, sort of mixed up like an uppercut, like those up jabs I was talking about earlier, where they sort of turn it upwards and knocks their opponent's head back. And yeah, 7th round just ended. Although Ruiz did land that big shot that I had a reaction to, I'm still just going to give that round to Santian. Maybe the shot wasn't even as big as I thought, just because of angles. The camera angle Top Rank has, ESPN has, whatever you want to call it. But I gave that round to with Santian as well. I have it 7-0, could be 6-1. First round was the only round that, I really think that first round Santian did lose. I don't know. It was a really competitive round. It's either 7-0 or 6-1. First round was a really competitive round. So, yeah, Santian seemingly like he's ahead in this fight. He could win wide. He could win close. Who knows how the judges have it. I hope the judges get it right. Seems like the right man as of now to win this fight is Giovanni Santian. Should go to 28-0 if it continues like this, where he's just able to make Ruiz go against the rope, and he's just able to land shots at will and just dictate the pace of this fight. We just start the 8th round here between Giovanni Santian and Angel Ruiz. Co-main event here, Emanuel Navarrete versus Joet Gonzalez. Main card. Combinations from Santian backing up Ruiz. Ruiz now trying to use head movement, gets caught with a left hand just around the ear. Uppercut to the body, or should I say the solar plex from Santian. Santian digs to the body again. Ruiz backing up. Seemingly hurt to the body, it seems like. He might be hurt. Ruiz could go down. He has his hands down. He's getting hit. He could go down in this round. He looks like he's really hurt to the body, and he gets caught with a combination to the head, to the body. Santian has hurt Ruiz. Ruiz is hurt bad against the ropes, keeping his hands down. He's hurt to the body, to the head. He's hurt everywhere. He's running around the ring, trying not to get hit. Santian trying to chase him down. He could score a knockdown or a knockout here. He's landing a lot of shots. Santian trying to get in a good angle. That was sort of low from Santian. Referee does not warn him. And yeah, Santian's starting to dictate this fight. Now we're in the 8th round here. If you're just joining us, I would appreciate it if you guys could hit the like button, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. This is my first ever live commentary stream. Santian landing some more combinations off the ropes. Another left hand from Santian. Ruiz really just getting hit a lot. Seems like he's losing this fight pretty clear. Santian digging to the body. Seems like Ruiz might have recovered a bit. Referee once again having to break them up after Santian's arms are grabbed onto by Ruiz. And now we see Santian land a combination, and Ruiz lands a left hook. Referee warns them for whatever reason. I'm not really too sure what that was, but Santian now coming forward. Sorry about that. Ruiz trying to land a check hook off the ropes. Santian digging to the body, to the head of Ruiz off the ropes. Ruiz is just, he can't fight like this. As I said earlier, he's just getting picked apart off the ropes, and now we see him come forward a bit and land shots to sort of back up Santian to the body and to the head. But now Ruiz is getting caught again, and he's sort of moving around the ring and getting caught. He could get dropped here. He's getting caught with uppercuts, hooks to the head, to the body, and he's just really the one getting backed up. And both fighters have a great work rate, great stamina, and Santian just landed a 3-punch combination: a left hook, a right hook, and another left hook, and somehow Ruiz took them. They were flush, clean shots, and what a chin Ruiz has. He's been taking all of these flush shots from Santian throughout this fight, and the round just ends, and I'm going to have to give that round clear to Santian. He was able to hurt Ruiz early on pretty bad, and it wasn't really like there was one big shot that landed that really caused Ruiz to react. It was sort of a mix of combinations from Santian that just made Ruiz hurt to the body, keep his hands down, and just run around the ring and try and sort of recover. And yeah, Santian won this round clear. So far, we're through 8 rounds. Could be 79-73, 80-72. If super, super generous to Ruiz, it could be 78-74. But that's just if you're really generous, in my opinion. But yeah, comment down below or comment in the chat your thoughts on this fight. Who you have winning thus far? Very action-packed, fan-friendly fight. Seems like the fans here in San Diego are getting their money's worth watching right now their hometown man seemingly winning and having some success, and both fighters are putting on a great performance. We see Santian land a check right hand just at the start of the 9th round of 10 scheduled rounds in the welterweight division. Winner could get a decently big fight. This is sort of like a crossroads fight here between two of these fighters with relatively good records. Can I see either of these guys becoming champions? No. But could I see them being a decent opportunity? Yes. I mean, both these guys, a win for them would mean a lot and could open up a lot of opportunity. And just as I say that, Santian lands another combination off the ropes and is just having so much success pushing Ruiz on those ropes and just landing some shots. As he lands a triple uppercut, double uppercut combination with a left hand over the top, Ruiz tries to land a hook off the ropes of his own, and it does not land clean. Santian coming forward still. Combinations from Santian. Backing up Ruiz. Ruiz gets caught to the body, tries to land an uppercut to the head of his own, does land one grazing him. Santian is going in with his elbow, and I mean that's definitely a good tactic. I mean, he's trying to push down the gloves of Ruiz, referee not warning him, and if he's able to do it on the sly, I mean he's able to do it. I mean, it's just a tactic that a fighter could use to their advantage. He's just coming forward, going in with the sort of forearm area, trying to push his arms down and just trying to land shots of his own. And it's working out pretty well for him off those ropes where Ruiz is right now. And Ruiz just landed an uppercut of his own. And Ruiz, after landing that uppercut, just got caught with an uppercut from Santian. And these fighters really, just props to them. Excellent fight right now. Santian is obviously the clear winner, but both fighters are clearly ahead thus far, I would say. But this is just a fun fight to watch. Just a lot of punches being thrown, a lot of punches being landed. Both fighters are just throwing a good amount. And yeah, I'd say Santian is ahead, as I mentioned earlier. Santian just landed a grazing uppercut on the chin of Ruiz. Ruiz trying to come forward and push Santian off him. 35 seconds left in the 9th round of 10 scheduled here in the welterweight division. Co-main event, Emanuel Navarrete versus Joet Gonzalez main card. 20 seconds left. Santian lands a beautiful left hand around the guard, sort of on the ear area, makes Ruiz step back a bit. Good shot that was right there. Now we see Santian getting chopped with the right hand or left hand over the top, trying to come forward, land a combination of his own, gets chopped a bit, grazed, partially landed with a left hook. Santian, and my scorecard is 9-0 Santian. I mean, it could be 8-1. Santian, I think, is clearly winning this fight. First round was the only round that really maybe Ruiz did edge. I know I gave it to Santian, but I'm sort of regretting that. I think that Ruiz might have landed the better shots. I just liked a bit how Santian really was setting up his shots with the jab in that round. So we're just about to start the 10th round in the next coming seconds. Giovanni Santian seemingly on his way to getting a victory here. Seems like he's just outworking Angel Ruiz thus far, landing the better shots. And yeah, I mean, Santian really just pressuring Ruiz off the ropes. And yeah, put in the chat your scorecard if you are watching this fight live. Santian is having success as of late. early on. It was very competitive now. Um, or I shouldn't really say early on because it was really only that first round that was a really, really close and tight round. The first three were just exciting and you wouldn't know which way it would go. But just as I say that, we were in the 10th round. Ruiz gets caught with a beautiful left hand, and he's getting caught with combinations from Santian. He's on the ropes. He might be hurt. Santian trying to score a knockdown or finish this fight here. Ruiz now firing back. Santian backs up. Santian now coming forward, just getting chopped with a left hand, and now a jab from Ruiz. Ruiz still off the back foot against the ropes, and he lands an uppercut of his own. And now another uppercut, a jab followed by an uppercut from Ruiz. Ruiz having a bit of success in this round just after getting hurt early on here. And Ruiz now landing another counter uppercut off the ropes. Another counter hook. This is what he should have done. Whenever Santian would come in, he should immediately try and land a counter as opposed to waiting for Santian to weather from combinations and then land a shot. But, I mean, he could have had a lot of success by just catching Santian while he's trying to walk in and land some shots. But now Santian was able to land the double right hook. Ruiz now lands a jab followed by a right hand, trying to catch Santian. And this is what he should have done. Now he's boxing. Now he's moving is Ruiz. And Ruiz is now landing some nice shots. Ruiz could take this round on my scorecard, even though he was hurt with a good left hand early. But now he's able to box and sort of neutralize Santian. And Santian now was able to partially land a left hand. Now Ruiz landing a jab. Angel Ruiz still boxing off the back foot in this round. First round we've ever seen him use his footwork. And, I mean, he's having some success using that. And he should have really started doing that after he figured out that Santian's just going to really try and land his shots off the ropes while Ruiz is there. So, I mean, now he's doing it again, but now he lands a big counter right hand on the ear area of Santian. We have 30 seconds left in this fight, and I'm actually edging this round to Ruiz. Ruiz lands a left hand, but now Santian fires back with a left hand of his own. Exciting fight here in the 10th round. Overall, fun fight that I'm edging to Santian thus far, and it seems like it's going to go his way. And 10 seconds left here. Ruiz tells Santian with his gloves, sort of pumps his chest, raises them in the air as if to say he wants more. Santian raises his right hand up, and that's the end of the fight. Both fighters show good sportsmanship, hugging it out in the center of the ring, and that is it. I give that round to Angel Ruiz. I have it 99-91 in favor of Giovanni Santian. Could be 98-92. In my opinion, first round was a swing round. So was that 10th round. I mean, it could be 100-90. Who knows? But I think that Angel Ruiz had some good work in that 10th round and even in the first round. So it could be 98-92. But Santian really was able to do a lot of good work in those middle to later rounds with just putting pressure on or applying pressure on Angel Ruiz and landing some good shots. And I don't know how long these scorecards are going to take, but co-main event just ended, waiting on the decision. And yeah, it should be, or I hope the judges get this right, because it seems like from what I watched, Santian won this fight. And yeah, I hope they can get these scorecards in soon. So Santian in his corner, seems like his trainer's happy, as if in, however, in Ruiz's corner, I mean, it's anything but that. Manny Robles does not look happy. The corner is sort of gloomy. But in Santian's corner, you see his manager or promoter smiling. Same with Robert Garcia. Seems like they think that they got the job done. And salute to Tony Davia in the chat with those thumbs up. Salute to you, or salute to him. So I'm showing some highlights here now, and I appreciate everyone in the chat and watching the stream right now. And yeah, I mean, we see some of these highlights right here. Santian just able to land shots off the ropes at will on Angel Ruiz, and those shots really were just the parts that really made him win the fight, when he was just able to land on Ruiz at will on the ropes. And I mean, it seems like he's pretty much the clear victor here, and I hope that the judges get this decision right, and that Santian's able to just move on and get a good opportunity next. This was a good crossroads co-main event, and we're getting ready for our main event now. Bam, they just showed a big uppercut from Santian in, I believe, the 9th round. It was a right uppercut. I know Santian's a southpaw, but he does carry a pretty powerful left hand, or a pretty powerful right hand, and we're about to get the judge's decision right now. About to get the scorecards. Now the crowd giving a round of applause to both fighters. Edward Hernandez at 99.91. And the other two judges have it 100-90. And yeah, Giovanni Santian getting the unanimous decision victory. Just as I watched and observed, I mean, seems like Santian was the more dominant fighter, had more success, landed the better shots, was able to capitalize by landing shots off the ropes. And yeah, he's definitely the clear victor. Judges had the bout scored 99-91, agreeing with me, and the other two judges had it 100-90 respectively. So Giovanni Santian now getting interviewed. And he's sort of just talking about his opponents and whatnot. And we're about to have our main event between Emanuel Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez. Should be a good, exciting fight. I hope it is. Both fighters are, according to BoxRec, highly ranked. Emanuel Navarrete, the number 1 in the division. As for Joet Gonzalez, he's the number 9 in the division. And yeah, what could be next for Navarrete if he gets a victory here? I hope he's able to get a big fight, a big opportunity. He definitely deserves that. And yeah, Santian's still getting interviewed here in the ring. I hope they're able to get Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez in the ring soon. I mean, this is a pretty good card. Both fighters, Gonzalez and Navarrete, world-ranked fighters. Now showing Santian once again with his son, showing his celebratory team here. Sort of all of them are happy, obviously. Santian improves to 28-0, getting this unanimous decision victory, one of the better wins of his career thus far. Pretty good win. And yeah, Santian getting that job done. Now they're showing some of the highlights from the other commentary team. Now we get to see Emanuel Navarrete here in his locker room throwing some combinations on the pads. He's making the second defense of his WBO Featherweight World title tonight. Looking sharp on the pads. We have some commercials right now from where I'm watching. And yeah, I'm just going to talk about now some of the upcoming fights. As I got to talk about earlier, there's also a UK card tomorrow between Hughie Fury and Christian Hammer. Sorry about that. And Hughie Fury, he is the cousin of heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. And talk about Tyson Fury. I mean, he fought last weekend, October 9th. Great fight card. We also got to see Frank Sanchez and Robert Helenius get victories, respectively, as well. And that was one of the greatest fight cards I've ever seen. We got to see Edgar Berlanga, Jared Anderson, Julian Williams got upset. I mean, it was such an exciting card with a lot of great fighters on it. One of the better cards of these past years. And we get to see where Hughie Fury is ranked leading up to tomorrow night's fight. He is ranked number 18 by BoxRec. He's coming off the win over Mariusz Wach. And Wach is a tough Polish fighter who always comes in heavy. Came into that fight at 274 and a quarter pounds. And Fury was able to neutralize him and out-jab him and outwork him, although he was cut over his left eye in the 4th round of that fight. He still won. And before that, he was able to get a destructive knockout victory over Pavel Sor. And I mean, when you really look at Hughie Fury's resume, he's only got losses to world-class opposition. He's lost to Kubrat Pulev, Alexander Povetkin, and he has a majority decision defeat to Joseph Parker for the WBO world title. But yeah, he also has some decent um, European level victories. He's also beaten Sam Sexton. He's got wins over Chris Norad. And as I mentioned earlier, he also has some European level wins over Wax, Sauer, and he's got 2 wins over Samuel Peter, or he's got a win over Samuel Peter and a win over Fred Cassie. And as for Christian Hammer, Boxer has him ranked number 26, so not a huge difference between them when it comes to rankings. But I just think Hughie Fury is a better fighter, and he should get the job done, just like his cousin did, getting a dominant victory. But I think Hughie Fury will take Christian Hammer to the distance, and obviously get his 26th win. Still going through some ads leading up to our main event. Hopefully the fighters are able to put on a great performance, and I hope it could be a good fight. Emanuel Navarrete, 34-1, 29 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is a two-weight world champion at 122 and 126, and yeah, he's a really exciting fighter. One of the most active champions. He fought like multiple times in a couple months. I mean, I'm just going to take a look at that right now. I mean, when he fought Isaac Dogbe, he fought Dogbe in May of 2019. Then he fought Devaka in August of 2019. And then less than a month later, he fought Ulorde in September, then Horta in December. I mean, he was just super active during that period. And even during the pandemic, at the height of the pandemic, he was super active. He fought Gio Santissima right before the shutdown. Then he fought Uriah Lopez, getting a dominant knockout win. And Ruben Villa and Christopher Diaz, just a very active and exciting champion. And now they're just about to hopefully get the fighters in the ring. Some of the ESPN commentators are just having a sit-down talk as of now. And, yeah, I'm sure they're just going to give their thoughts and their predictions on this fight, the BBO Featherweight World title. So far, I mean, we've seen all of the fights leading up to the main event. We got to see Antonio Mireles, Floyd Diaz. We got to see Javier Martinez, Lidolfo Delgado, Henry Lebron, and Giovanni Santian all get some good victories. And now in the main event, we see Emanuel Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez for the WBO Featherweight Championship. Both fighters are getting ready in their respective locker rooms. Joet Gonzalez prepared pretty well for this fight. So did both men. I saw a lot of training videos leading up to this fight. And, yeah, Joet Gonzalez, he is a good fighter, but I don't think he's going to get the job done. I think that Emanuel Navarrete should get the victory, and I have him winning by unanimous decision. And I think the scorecards for, or I'm just going to say it again, I think the scorecards are going to be like a 118, 110, 117, 111, like a pretty wide and clear decision for Emanuel Navarrete. But Joet Gonzalez, who knows? Navarrete, he's a very active, fun fighter. In my opinion, the best featherweight right now, most active and just fan-friendly featherweight. And he's just really fun to watch, as I mentioned many times throughout the stream. So, yeah, they're showing some Navarrete highlights. Hopefully they'll be able to get them in the ring soon. Now they're showing some highlights of other Mexican fighters throughout the years. Navarrete stopping Santissima and stopping or even dropping Ruben Villa with that brutal uppercut. I remember that knockout when I saw it, and even that left hook they just showed. I mean, he landed a beautiful left hand on the chin of Villa, dropped him, and who knows if he's able to catch Gonzalez with one of the shots and drop him and be able to capitalize and get a win and score a couple knockdowns. Because if you really look at the scorecards for that fight, if he did not score those knockdowns over Ruben Villa, he could have got a draw. I mean, they had a really, really close on this. He's a very good boxer, counterpuncher in his own right. And they still have ESPN commentators talking at a desk. Now they're showing Joet Gonzalez in his locker room, working on the pads, throwing some good power shots to the body, to the head. Seems like he is ready. Seems like he is prepared. He's wearing, it looks like white trimmed red. Can't really see his full trunks. But yeah, he does look ready. Oh no, he's wearing white trimmed with sort of navy purplish blue. Navarrete wearing the black with the red, wearing his trademark sombrero and poncho. And the poncho looks like, I believe it's a red and a greenish gold. Always wearing his cross as well, his cross necklace. And yeah, I mean, he looks prepared. He looks in good spirits for this fight, or he looks like he's prepared mentally and physically. And yeah, he's, in my opinion, he should get the job done, as I mentioned earlier. And now they're going to Andre Ward in the top-ranked team, or ESPN team, whatever you want to call it. He's saying his opinions. And yeah, they have some statistics on the television. They have Navarrete is 8-0 with 6 knockouts in championship fights, and those are some impressive stats for him thus far in his championship journey. I mean, I believe he's still only in his 20s. Yeah, I mean, he's 26 years old already with 35 fights. We've seen a lot of fighters in recent time, like Jaime Munguia, young, a lot of fights. We even see Canelo Alvarez. I believe he's like 30, 29 years old, and he's got like 58 fights, 59 fights to his record. Yeah, he's only 31 years old, 58 fights. I mean, there's been a lot of these young, up-and-coming, powerful Mexican fighters in recent time, and they're all excellent. And seems like Navarrete, his team, hyping him up in the locker room, clapping while he is working shadow boxing, getting ready for this fight. And this is one of his biggest fights at featherweight. Navarrete is a minus 450 favorite. Gonzalez is a plus 340 underdog. Yeah, I mean, Navarrete, I think he should win this fight. As I said earlier, now they're showing some more highlights of him and how fast and how wide and how sort of odd the angles of his shots are. And we get to see how he just sort of leaps in with hooks, and he doesn't really get hit because he's so long and so lengthy, and he's just able to use his power to push guys off him when he jumps in with hooks. He uses his hand movement, foot feints as well, has a decent long jab, and I mean, he really sets up shots to the body and to the head, and I'm looking forward to seeing him using or utilizing that skill here against Joet Gonzalez. And now they're showing how he sets up his power shots, and he sort of leaps in with a right hand, changes it to an uppercut, and that's one of his most trademark shots, the uppercut. He scored a lot of knockdowns using both hands. Very powerful fighter in his own right. And Emanuel Navarrete still in the locker room, same with Joet Gonzalez. Both fighters not walking out to the ring yet. Still ESPN commentators having a chat about the fight. And yeah, drop in the chat below your guys' thoughts on this fight. Who you think is going to win? Any questions rolling around boxing or just anything, I'll answer. So yeah, I mean, we have some good fights today, good fights tomorrow. Just about to start main event here. Navarrete versus Gonzalez, WBO Featherweight Championship. Navarrete holds a record of 34-1, 29 wins coming by way of knockout. Gonzalez holds a record of 24-1 with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Navarrete only loss came early on in his career against a relatively unknown opponent, but it was in his like seventh fight, something like that. And yeah, I mean, it was when it was like maybe 9 years ago, so he was really young in that fight, and now he's sort of evolved into a world class fighter with a lot of power, and who's just able to dominate using his physicality and size, and two-way world champion now, and he's just overall a great fighter. So going to some more ads on the broadcast. They're not having the fighters walk out yet, but hopefully after this commercial break they will. I do want to see this fight. Fairly excited for it. Hope that Navarrete is able to get the victory here. I'm a pretty big fan of his in recent time. I just love how he fights. I love how he always is trying to go for that knockout. He's a very exciting fighter, and I hope he's able to put on a good performance tonight. And same with Joet Gonzalez. I hope Joet Gonzalez is also able to make this fight competitive and exciting. Because why would I want to see a blowout? I want to see a fairly competitive and interesting fight. Showing some more ads now. Hopefully they'll be able to get both fighters in the ring soon. Salute to all 4 of you guys in the chat watching right now. I appreciate that. You guys are still here. Here my first live stream, live commentary. Navarrete versus Joet Gonzalez. Joet Gonzalez only lost to Shakur Stevenson, as I mentioned earlier. And, I mean, he's got some split decision wins. He's got some competitive wins. And, as I said earlier, his best wins are probably over Rafael Rivera, even Emanuel Navarrete, and Miguel Mariaga, which was his last fight in September of 2020. I remember watching that Mariaga fight. He just dictated the pace. And early on, it was somewhat competitive, but he was able to sort of neutralize Mariaga and make him fight off the back foot. But I'm not sure how he's going to make Navarrete fight off the back foot. It seems like a tough task when Navarrete is just the bigger man. And Joet Gonzalez did start out his career at 100 and sorry about that. He did start his career at 121 pounds. Started at super bantamweight, and same with Navarrete. Navarrete is most notably known for fighting at 121 pounds, but he's fought as low as 112 pounds. When he started out his career, he was 112 pounds, moved up to 115, 118, 121, and now 126, respectively, as most of you guys know now. And, two-weight champion, getting ready here for the main event, Navarrete versus Gonzalez. Fighters have not walked into the ring yet. This is actually a pretty late broadcast for a top-ranked fight. I mean, we usually see the main event end at 11 p.m. Eastern time or so. It's just about 1 in the morning, but it seems like now they're back on the ring. Seems like both fighters might be in the ring yet, or they might be in the ring, or they're just going to send them to the ring. They're back on their broadcast, and now, we get to see here Joet Gonzalez walking to the ring, as I mentioned before, wearing that combination of white and bluish purple. He's wearing a big white sombrero, and he's also got this traditional white and red jacket. Not really too sure what it's called. He's the number 1. He's a mandatory for the WBO at 126 pounds. That's why he's getting the shot. Walking to the ring right now, looks composed, looks calm, and looks ready. He's not followed by his team. His team is a long way behind him already in the ring. Most of them are. And as I mentioned before, he looks composed, he looks ready, he looks calm, and he looks like, he's in great shape for this fight. And he really trained, obviously, to become the new world champion. And for him, that's his dream, to become a champion. He's praying in his corner. Many fighters do that. And, great way for him to sort of get closure and get ready for this fight and prepared. And now we see Emanuel Navarrete here walking to the ring, wearing the sombrero, the necklace, the poncho. His last fight was 174 days ago. And he's the WBO Featherweight World Champion, two-weight champion, shaking his arms out as he's walking to the ring. He also looks composed. Although he does look a little less calm and looks a bit more nervous than Joet Gonzalez, but still, I'm not going to hold him accountable for that. He's probably going to show all of what he's got in the ring and what he's going to give. And we're just about to start the main event, the fight that you've all been waiting for. Emanuel Navarrete versus Joet Gonzalez. And now we are, both fighters are in the ring. The announcer, Mark Chinook, should be able to start announcing both fighters and their records. Emanuel Navarrete defending his WBO Featherweight World title for the second time. He is in the ring here, same with Joet Gonzalez, as I mentioned earlier. Mark Schumacher now announcing both fighters. Born and living in Mexico, in San Juan, Zetlatepec, Mexico. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. And yeah, I mean, Navarrete, a lot of his fights were in Mexico up until he did go to the United States and beat Isaac Dugbe to become the WBO Super Bantamweight World Champion. He beat him again, and then ever since then, he's got a bunch of title defenses, moved up in weight, and now here he is, and getting ready to announce both fighters once again. Mark Chinook, probably just about to announce Joet Gonzalez. And I like that they're not doing national anthems just to speed up the process. Joet Gonzalez in his corner with the Mexican and the American flag, respectively, showing his Mexican heritage. He's 28 years old, 24 wins, 1 defeat with 14 knockouts, the WBO #1 mandatory, plus 340 underdog. And this is his second ever title fight, challenging once again for this WBO featherweight title after losing to Shakur Stevenson when it was vacant. And yeah, he looks composed and he looks ready to put on a good performance in this fight. And now, just about to announce Emanuel Navarrete, the defending champion, defending his title for the second time here. Crowd cheering for Joet Gonzalez as he was just announced. This is a pretty big and packed arena here in San Diego. And now Navarrete being announced. Now he looks ready here in the ring, bouncing up on his toes and ready to put on a good performance. And for him, hopefully, to defend his title and move on to better things in his next fight. He's the minus 450 favorite. As I mentioned earlier, in championship fights, he's 8-0, 6 knockouts. He's coming off a 29-fight win streak since his only loss. And I appreciate you guys for sticking along throughout this stream. I really appreciate that. And yeah, Navarrete being announced here. And we are ready for a main event. Both fighters just about to come to the center of the ring. And between Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez. Navarrete, two-way champion. Gonzalez, former world title challenger, ready to challenge for the same belt again. And the fight is just about to begin. 12 rounds of boxing between Emanuel Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez. WBO Featherweight World Championship. Here we go. Referee touching both fighters' gloves up. Round of 12 of just Navarrete, the defending champion. Gonzalez, the challenger. And yeah, just about to start. Right now, waiting for the bell to sound for round 1. Ray Corona in the center of the ring. He's a good referee. Third man in the ring. And round 1 just began between Emanuel Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez. Joet Gonzalez sort of coming forward a bit. Navarrete tentative though, and lands an uppercut in the right hand. Right hand might have grazed him. Both of the shots might have not landed flush. Joet Gonzalez now landing some shots on Navarrete. A 1-2 backs up. Gonzalez didn't really land too clean. Body shot from Navarrete, combination from Navarrete as well. Body shot. Gonzalez is coming forward now. He does not look afraid of Navarrete's power, but we'll see how he reacts if he does get hit with one of his trademark uppercuts. Sorry about that. And he just did. He took it well. And that was the same shot that Christopher Diaz did get hit with and got dropped with when he was going off the back foot And Gonzalez took it well, and Gonzalez just got dug to the body. And Navarrete now landing to the body and to the head, while Joet Gonzalez is trying to come forward. Body shot again from Navarrete, and Navarrete just gets chopped to the head and to the body by Joet Gonzalez. Joet Gonzalez is really coming forward, and he's really trying to make this fight tough and rugged. And Navarrete is in for a tough night here. I mean, seems like it's more competitive than I would have thought. I mean, who knows? It could be like the last fight where it was a fun fight that we did see a clear winner in Santian, Giovanni Santian. But now Navarrete did just get hit to the head and to the body again with a 1-2 from Gonzalez. And now Navarrete going to the body and now to the head with a double left hook. And Joet Gonzalez just misses a combination. Joet Gonzalez now lands to the body and to the head. I mean, this is a competitive round. I don't know who's winning it, to be honest. Body shots again from Joet Gonzalez. Referee Ray Corona breaking them up. 1-2 miss. 1-2. Sorry about that. 1-2 misses from Emanuel Navarrete, followed by an uppercut as well. Emanuel Navarrete is missing a lot of his shots here. Joet Gonzalez is the more accurate, but I mean, I don't know who's winning this round. I might have to edge it as of now to Joet Gonzalez. Going to be honest, he's landing the more clean, more effective shots, and he just lands a right hand on Navarrete on the ropes. I'm gonna give this round to Joet Gonzalez. He surprised me here, starting off the round strong, landing the better, more effective, more accurate shots, and first round coming to an end. Just did the bell, and I have a 10-9 in favor of Joet Gonzalez. First round done. I gave that to the challenger. First round was somewhat competitive. And if you're just joining us, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. And Emanuel Navarrete did get hit with a lot of leather in that first round. Joet Gonzalez early on was the one getting hit with some of Navarrete's long and lengthy uppercuts. But now Navarrete, towards the end of that round, was the one getting hit with Joet Gonzalez's combinations. Second round just about to start. Navarrete in his corner. He's got his family. Like always, his uncle, his cousins. They come from a fighting family. And, Navarrete and Gonzalez, round 2 just about to start. First round, I did to the challenger, Joet Gonzalez. Joet Gonzalez coming forward now, and Navarrete, unlike what I expected, where I did predict that Joet Gonzalez would be the one fighting off the back foot. But here Navarrete is getting pressured. He just got caught in the clinch, and now Navarrete seems frustrated, trying to land shots of his own in the clinch. And both of these fighters are really trying to prove who's really physically stronger, as they're throwing and landing a lot of shots in the clinch, even behind the head and the back, the arms. I mean, this is really tough and a rugged fight between two great fighters. And Gonzalez now landing the better, more clean, accurate shots. And I mean, it seems like he's probably winning this round as well. Although it's only been 1 minute, 2 minutes left of the second round. Gonzalez really not getting hit too much. Navarrete is missing a lot of his power shots. And Gonzalez is landing a lot of good shots to the body and to the head. And he's mixing it up a bit. And he just landed another left hook to the body. Navarrete sort of grazes him with a right hand. Gonzalez lands a left hook to the head of Navarrete. Left hook to the body from Gonzalez. A jab, beautiful jab from Gonzalez. Right hand misses from Navarrete, but the jab before that did land. Emanuel Navarrete, I think, is losing this round again, as he missed another uppercut and a right hand. Joet Gonzalez lands a right hand, grazing the chin of Navarrete. Navarrete misses an uppercut. I mean, when you look at Joet Gonzalez's face, I mean, he's got a sort of mouse under his eye, his right eye, or from what we see, the left eye, his right, and I mean, I just think that he's landing the better shots. I think that Gonzalez is winning this round, but just as I say that, Navarrete starts to come forward and starts to land better shots, and he could be taking this round back. Now that I said Gonzalez was the one having some more success. Now Navarrete lands a double jab. Navarrete now starting to box a bit, but he does get chopped, just grazed with a right hand. Shot hook from Navarrete does land. Right hand misses big for Navarrete. Body shots from Joet Gonzalez now. Left and a right to the body. Jab from Joet Gonzalez to the head of Navarrete. Now Navarrete coming forward a bit. I might edge this round to Emanuel Navarrete. Navarrete had some more success in the last couple minutes and landed some good shots. So I guess I'll give it to Navarrete. I mean, it could be 2-0 Gonzalez, but I'll give it to Navarrete. He had some success, landed some good shots, and he was able to swell up the eye of Gonzalez. I know that really doesn't matter, but he did land some good shots towards the end of the round. So round 2 just coming to an end of our 12-round WBO Featherweight World Title Fight Showdown between Emanuel Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez. I did predict that Navarrete would get a unanimous decision win, and the judges' scorecards would be like a 118, 110, 117, 111, something like that. And if you're just joining us, please hit the like button. We just finished up 2 rounds between Emanuel Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez. The third round just about to start. I have it 19-19. I gave the first round to Gonzalez, the second to Navarrete. Navarrete starting out with a double jab, triple jab, another jab from Navarrete, right hand from Gonzalez. Combination misses from Navarrete. And now a combination from Gonzalez backs up Navarrete. Navarrete trying to push Gonzalez back, but most of his shots did not land. But now he lands a combination, a flurry of punches to the head and to the body. And seemingly Gonzalez took them well. Now Navarrete is really throwing a lot of punches, and I always commend Navarrete for his stamina because he's always shown that he can take punches well and throw a lot of punches and still continue going. As now Gonzalez is trying to hit Navarrete with shots, and Navarrete might have backed up or wobbled Gonzalez. Gonzalez just got chopped with a good left hand from Navarrete, and that sort of mouse under the eye of Gonzalez is sort of cut now, but it's on his cheek area, so it's somewhere around there, his eye and his cheek, and I don't really think that's going to cause too much damage throughout the fight, and hopefully it doesn't end it by any chance. Now Navarrete throwing more combinations. He's having a lot of success this round, but a big right hand from Joet Gonzalez lands clean on Navarrete's chin and nose area. Navarrete now complaining of maybe a headbutt, but just as he does, he throws big combinations landing on Joet Gonzalez. Joet Gonzalez throwing to the body, to the head as well. Combinations from now Joet Gonzalez off the ropes. He's actually starting to pressure Navarrete, but I still think Navarrete is edging this round because of his work earlier on. And now he's trying to push Joet Gonzalez back with some good combinations, whilst Joet Gonzalez is trying to actually push Navarrete back to the ropes. Navarrete misses a left hand. Gonzalez claps his hands together as if to say he wants more, as he just gets chopped with another shot. And Navarrete now getting hit on the back, some illegal shots from Gonzalez, but just as he shakes his head, because of those shots, he now lands some shots of his own on Gonzalez, and I'm definitely giving this round, sorry about that, to Navarrete. He had some great work, was able to land some good shots and neutralize Joet Gonzalez a bit as he was coming forward. So I have a 29-28 in favor of Emanuel Navarrete after 3. And if you're watching this fight live right now, just comment down or comment in the chat your scorecard and who you have winning and who you think is going to win this fight thus far. So 3 rounds done, Emanuel Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez. I have Emanuel Navarrete ahead at 29-28. I gave him rounds 2 and 3. I felt that round 1 had some great work in favor of Joet Gonzalez, where he was able to back up Navarrete. Navarrete didn't really know what to do, but now it seems like Navarrete might have figured Joet Gonzalez out a bit, and he's starting to land some good shots, respectively. And in the chat, Jaguar said, "Let's go Navarrete." It seems like he's having some success, and it seems like he probably is going to be the one ultimately getting the victory here, like I did predict, based off of that 3rd round, if it does go like that throughout the fight. And then they're showing some highlights of this round where Navarrete did land a nice left hook on the chin of Joet Gonzalez that did sort of back him up and sort of rock him a bit. But now we're starting the 4th round of scheduled 12 for the WBO Featherweight World Championship between Emanuel Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez. I mean, Joet Gonzalez is now getting backed up off the ropes, and I wonder how he's just going to sort of neutralize that, because in the rounds we saw previous, he was taking his shot, Navarrete's shots well, and he was able to work good off the ropes and pressure Navarrete. And we see here Navarrete now trying to lure Joet Gonzalez in a bit while he is coming forward. And that cut on his cheek is just getting worse and worse as the fight's going on. But since it's on his cheek, as I mentioned earlier, it should not be too much of a problem. Emanuel Navarrete now trying to box. He's jabbing a bit, trying to land his trademark uppercut. Navarrete lands a jab in a 1-2. Body shot now from Navarrete. Left hand misses from Gonzalez. Navarrete jabbing. Right hand from Navarrete. Combination just grazes the temple of Navarrete. Now Navarrete getting pushed back. Both of them throwing shots in the clinch while the referee is trying to break them up. Combination now from Navarrete to the body and to the head as Joet Gonzalez is trying to push him back here in the 4th round of 12 for the WBO Featherweight Championship. Sorry about that, but Navarrete now he's fighting in a mix of both mid-range and on the outside. He's coming forward in some bursts, as we see here, where he was just on the ropes and now he's bounced back, came forward, and threw some shots of his own, while Joet Gonzalez is primarily coming forward and fighting at mid-range up until those little bursts that I was talking about where Navarrete does come forward and land some shots, mainly power hooks. And now Navarrete getting chopped to the head and to the body by Joet Gonzalez here in the last 30 seconds of this round. This is a competitive round, and a big right hand from Navarrete. Navarrete might be hurt. Big combination from Joet Gonzalez. Both fighters got chopped, and I think Navarrete is on rocky territory right now. He just got chopped again with a left hook from Joet Gonzalez. Big shots from Joet Gonzalez. Both fighters traded. Both fighters landed. It seems like that Joet Gonzalez got the better of it. I might be editing this to Joet Gonzalez as he's backing up Navarrete. I don't know if Navarrete's hurt or not, but Joet Gonzalez had some really good work. Navarrete could have won that round because he did have some good work early on. And if they show highlights here of that shot that I thought that Joet Gonzalez landed, and apparently it was just a shot, or if it was, it's just a shot by Navarrete, that could swing my round. So, as of now, I have 38-38, but if that shot did not land, I'll just change it over to a Navarrete round, because it seemed like Joet landed a shot there. We see here, it actually was Navarrete's shot that barely grazed Joet Gonzalez, and it seems like Navarrete got chopped and hurt with the worst of the shot right in the chin, and we got to see that he got wobbled just a bit and his legs buckled. So that's definitely a Gonzalez round. As I said earlier, he was able to hurt and land a great shot on Emanuel Navarrete and buckle his knees. We are now in the 5th round of Schedule 12 for the WBO Featherweight World Championship, and Emanuel Navarrete now getting pushed back on the ropes, and he misses a big right hand. Navarrete looks like he's really trying to land a big shot at this point because he knows this fight is probably really, really close in the scorecards. I mean, I have it a draw, and Navarrete, my stream is cut out right now. The screen is black. I don't know what's going on with the ESPN Plus stream. Hopefully they can get it back up, but we were just in the 5th round of Schedule 12, reloading it back up now. And yeah, it says they're experiencing technical difficulties. Sorry about that. But now they just got back on. 2 minutes left of the 5th round. Emanuel Navarrete landing shots of his own. Joet Gonzalez getting chopped back, but a big jab from Joet Gonzalez sort of bobs the back of Emanuel Navarrete. And Navarrete now chopped with a right hand to the head. Joet Gonzalez still coming forward, still landing shots. And Emanuel Navarrete trying to land shots, just as I mentioned earlier, where he's trying to have those bursts of combinations whilst jumping back from getting caught on the ropes. But Joet Gonzalez is still really the one primarily coming forward here in the 5th round. I have it 38-38 even. Emanuel Navarrete got sort of hurt in last round, and a big right hand from Navarrete now backs up Gonzalez. Gonzalez now might be hurt. Emanuel Navarrete landed a good uppercut followed by a right hand on Joet Gonzalez. And now it seems like maybe Joet Gonzalez was not really as hurt as I would have thought, because now he's still coming forward, but now he's getting hit to the body again from Navarrete. And Navarrete still trying to throw the combinations back off the ropes, and just as I say that, Gonzalez lands a right hand to the body, and Navarrete lands a right hand to the head. Navarrete having some success in this round as he backs up Gonzalez with a beautiful right hand followed by a body shot, and he could take this round based off of this combination. And another headbutt from Joet Gonzalez. Emanuel Navarrete complains to the referee, and always defend yourself. Or the main thing in boxing is to defend yourself at all times, because Navarrete got hit when he was complaining to the referee again and backed up, and that could have messed up his rhythm when he was having some success. And he switched to southpaw momentarily, still southpaw as Navarrete, as he just switched, and he lands a big left hand on the nose of Joet Gonzalez. Joet Gonzalez getting backed up now. I think Navarrete is winning this round clear. He's boxing beautifully. I know you rarely hear that in a Navarrete fight, but he's countering Joet Gonzalez in this round. He's not really using a lot of footwork, but he's just moving around at a sort of decent pace. And he, I think, clearly won this round. I have a 48-47 in favor of Emanuel Navarrete. Had some success. Was able to land some nice combinations, and I think he won this clear. Great round for Emanuel Navarrete. And if you're just joining us, I'd appreciate it if you guys go hit the like button on my first ever live commentary stream. So Navarrete and Gonzalez, 5 rounds done. Just about to head into the 6th round, almost halfway through this fight. So far, pretty exciting, pretty competitive, more competitive than I thought. I initially predicted that this would be a pretty wide decision in favor of Emanuel Navarrete, but seems like it should be close in the scorecards, or at least my scorecard's really close. And yeah, Navarrete had some success last round, was able to get to Joet Gonzalez, landing some nice shots, and we were just about to start the 6th round of Schedule 12, and they're just showing Joet Gonzalez's French Bulldog in the crowd, and yeah, it's an adorable sight. But now we're starting the 6th round here of a scheduled 12. Emanuel Navarrete starting out, coming forward. Joet Gonzalez now trying to land shots of his own, misses. And through 5 rounds, I mean, Navarrete is landing more than Gonzalez at 75-59. However, Gonzalez is landing at a higher percent. Navarrete getting jabbed a bit here. Joet Gonzalez getting caught again off the ropes, and he might be buckled here. Andre Ward's unofficial scorecard is 48-47 in favor of Navarrete. I do agree. Sorry about that. I actually have the same rounds for Navarrete, but Navarrete just landed a big combination on the ropes, knocking back Joet Gonzalez, and he's actually seeming like the one having success here, as he's landing big, hard combinations to the body and to the head of Joet Gonzalez. And now Joet Gonzalez is the one getting pressured back. Emanuel Navarrete now, just as they say that, is the one getting pushed back and bullied in the clinch. Joet Gonzalez now coming forward, although he's walking through all of these Navarrete right hands and left hands. I mean, Navarrete's switching to southpaw quite a bit here, and I mean, he's having some success in doing so because he's really because now he really has some good opportunities to hit Joet Gonzalez with some clean open shots. Joet Gonzalez still coming forward. Emanuel Navarrete jabbing, trying to keep Joet Gonzalez off him. He's landing some nice shots in his own right, and Joet Gonzalez still coming forward, and Navarrete boxing great this round. I think Navarrete is winning this round. As of now, there's 1:10 left here in the 6th round. Joet Gonzalez gets caught with an uppercut and a right hand to the head from Emanuel Navarrete, and that sort of backs up Gonzalez. Gonzalez could be a bit shaken as he's now just his offense is totally gone. Now he's coming forward again. Just as I see that, it seems like he recovered. He missed the jab. Navarrete trying to land counter shots. Navarrete, sorry about that. But Navarrete does get chopped here to the body. And I'm not really too sure if that shot landed here, as Emanuel Navarrete just got caught to the body and to the head with some good shots from Joet Gonzalez. And Joet Gonzalez gets caught with an up jab to the forehead area. And he lands another body shot and a good right hand from Joet Gonzalez. 22 seconds left of the 6th round. 20 seconds down. I'm edging this round right now to Emanuel Navarrete. Had a lot of success earlier on here in this round. Was able to get to Joet Gonzalez a bit, landing some nice shots. Big body shots from Emanuel Navarrete. And 5 seconds about left of the 6th round. Combinations from Navarrete. And yeah, that is it. I'm giving that 6th round to Emanuel Navarrete. I felt that he landed the better shots, let alone had some more success, and just overall I worked and landed as I said before, he just landed the better shots. I mean, he was able to neutralize Joet Gonzalez a bit earlier on in that round, and he was also able to land some good shots of his own coming forward. Right now, that cut, as I mentioned earlier, is just getting worse and worse on the cheek area under the eye of Joet Gonzalez. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to impact the fight, but his eye is starting to swell up a bit. Definitely more than earlier. I mean, his eye, it could go up into sort of the top area of his eye around the eyelid, and it could swell up and close the eye, but hopefully it doesn't, because it's really starting to swell up a lot more now, and that cut is getting bigger and bigger as he gets chopped to the head by Navarrete even more. And now we are going into the second half of this fight. Very exciting 12-round WBO Featherweight Championship bout between Navarrete and Gonzalez. Gonzalez still coming forward. And last round, the punch stats were really good in favor of Navarrete. He almost doubled his landed shots, landed 27 to Gonzalez's 15. And 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in this 7th round. Navarrete still moving around, trying to catch Joet Gonzalez off guard while he's trying to come forward. Now Navarrete is coming forward after he landed a nice shot, lands some good arm shots and a big hook to the head on Gonzalez, and Gonzalez gets chopped again with a right and a left, as Gonzalez is now getting hit a lot more as he's coming forward, because Navarrete sort of figured him out that if he goes southpaw, he could really find new openings and land better shots. Navarrete just got tripped up. He did not get hurt there. I see Gonzalez's family in the crowd screaming because they obviously presumed Navarrete was hurt, but he wasn't. He got tripped up on Gonzalez's leg. But yeah, Joet Gonzalez, I think, is still losing this first minute and close to a half, just about as we're getting up. It's 1:40 into the round, or 1:40 left of the 7th round. That eye is swelling up even more. I wouldn't be surprised if it does close up a bit. Hopefully it doesn't. Usually cuts on the cheek and swelling on the cheek, sort of under the eye area, don't really cause too much. It's really over the eye or on the eyelid, but just let's see that. Navarrete lands a beautiful up jab / uppercut on the chin of Joet Gonzalez. Now both fighters are in the clinch. Referee Ray Corona breaks them up as accordingly. And now Joet Gonzalez coming forward. Still beautiful jab. Knocks the head back like a bobblehead of Joet Gonzalez. Big shot. Now both fighters landing shots in the clinch. Sorry about that. But Yeah, Navarrete landing a beautiful combination from Navarrete. 1-2, followed by another right hand. Great shots. And Navarrete getting chopped to the head as well with a jab from Gonzalez. And he misses the left hand. Navarrete does. That cut is bleeding a lot more now. As I said earlier, usually those cuts on the cheek and areas like that don't really cause too much damage throughout the fight and really cause an end, but this one could. I mean, that eye is swelling up just under it, and it's bleeding a lot more. But Gonzalez is a warrior. He's coming forward still. Navarrete just chopped him again with a right hand. Body shot from Joet Gonzalez. 16 seconds left in the 7th round. I'm edging this round definitely to Emanuel Navarrete. Just as I say that, Gonzalez lands a right hand to the body and a left hand as well. Very fun fight here, but a right hand lands just around the guard of Emanuel, or lands on Joet Gonzalez, right hand from Emanuel Navarrete, and that is the end of the, I believe, 7th round. So, yeah, the last 3 rounds I've given to Emanuel Navarrete. Thought he landed the better, thought he landed the better, more hard and clean shots as we head into the 8th round of the scheduled 12-round championship bout. They're now showing some highlights here, and they just took a look at where Navarrete slipped a bit. And yeah, he did. I mean, since Navarrete was turned southpaw, obviously he tripped up on Joet Gonzalez's, I believe it was his right leg. Now we get to see Joet Gonzalez in the corner. It does not look defeated. Does not look discouraged at all. Still looks like he's got a lot of heart and a lot left in him and a lot more fight in him. Navarrete looks calm. He looks collected. He's got his family in his corner, his cousin, his uncle, and his father, and he looks ready to go out for this 8th round. Round 8 of a scheduled 12 rounds. Navarrete comes out getting chopped with a left hook and a jab from Joet Gonzalez. A right hand just grazes the temple, and Navarrete does slip. That's not a knockdown. There's not a knockdown. Referee Ray Corona really calls that correctly. Seems like Navarrete once again got caught on the leg of Gonzalez and just slipped. But they're going to review that here on the side. The Top Rank broadcast has a sort of other screen showing it, and yeah, that was clearly a slip. And Jaguar says in the chat that he predicted the 7th round, but yeah, I mean, sorry about that. Navarrete could still get a stoppage here. He's starting to have a bit more success, and I mean, you could be right with the baseline prediction of a stoppage for Navarrete, but just as I say that, I mean, this could be the better round that Joet Gonzalez has had in the past 3. I did predict the unanimous decision I mentioned earlier, but yeah, Joet Gonzalez now coming forward, but seems like Navarrete's figured him out more, starting to land at will when Joet Gonzalez does come forward, and he could stop Gonzalez depending on how bad that cut gets or the swelling, because I mean, it seems like Joet Gonzalez is taking Navarrete's shots well. And Asha Kamat asked how old I am. I'm 14 years old. I'm gonna turn 15 in close to a month or just less than a month. So yeah, and I appreciate you for checking out the stream, and just hit the like button. I would really appreciate that as well. And a minute and 10 seconds left of the 8th round, and Joet Gonzalez still coming forward. Emanuel Navarrete gets hit with a right hand from Gonzalez. Gonzalez is having some success this round, and I mean, this could be one of the few rounds I would give to Gonzalez in these past 4, counting the 8th. Navarrete is having a bit less success here. Gonzalez is coming forward a bit more and having more success going to the body. And Asha Kamat is predicting Navarrete to win by knockout from round 7 to round 12, or did predict that. And yeah, that's a solid prediction. That could definitely happen depending on how Navarrete steps on the gas. But as of now, in the latter part of this 8th round, it seems like the right hand that knocks the head back of Navarrete. And yeah, Acha Kamal also says, how is it looking? My stream is down, and I presume you mean your fight stream. And I mean, right now it's looking like Navarrete is having a bit more success in the final 10 seconds of this round. But I think overall the 8th round is a Joet Gonzalez round. So yeah, this is out of these past 4 rounds. This is the first round I have given to Joet Gonzalez, but overall I've given Joet Gonzalez, I believe, 3 rounds. So yeah, after 8 rounds, I have it 77-75 in favor of Emanuel Navarrete. I appreciate all of you guys watching the stream as of now, and yeah, just staying along throughout, listening to my commentary. I really appreciate that. He's my first ever live commentary stream. So if Emanuel Navarrete wins, I mean, just drop in the chat below who you think is going to win. And El Guapo Legendario Casanova says MB Boxing Official equals best boxing commentator on YouTube, and I truly appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support, and thanks for watching. And Ashkamat also says, what site am I using? Well, to watch this, I'm watching on an ESPN Plus, where you could watch it, and yeah, on the ESPN app here. So yeah, I mean, it's a great streaming service. You can watch all the fights on there as well. A lot of big time fights. I mean, ESPN does have, I mean, great streaming. I mean, it went down just for a bit, I believe, in the 6th round or in the 5th round, whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, it's back up immediately after like 5 seconds, and yeah, this stream's been going strong ever since. And just as I say that, Joet Gonzalez lands a right hand at the start of the 9th round, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, and Emanuel Navarrete still the one fighting at mid range, trying to land shots, and yeah, I mean, just as I said earlier, with those bursts of combinations, we just saw again Navarrete coming forward, throwing that 1-2 followed by that uppercut, and those uppercuts just generate so much power because he leaps up, and he doesn't really throw an uppercut where his glove is fully turned facing his opponent. His glove is sort of faced in like a jab position, and it goes up, and I love those type of shots, and we're seeing a lot of them here from Emanuel Navarrete, and yeah, Emanuel Navarrete jabbing again on the outside, lands a triple jab on the chin of Joet Gonzalez. Joet Gonzalez coming forward, Emanuel Navarrete off the back foot, lands another jab. Navarrete having a lot of success. Sorry about that. Using the jab in this round. Just I say that, Gonzalez chops Navarrete with a right hand flush on the nose, but Navarrete eats it like nothing and is still coming forward now. Joet Gonzalez coming forward. Very, very exciting fight. Fairly competitive fight. Gonzalez does land a right hand sort of on the back of the head. Navarrete misses a right hand and sort of stumbles and slips around the ring. And now Navarrete lands another right hand to the body, right hand to the head. He's throwing a lot of combinations. Some of them are partially landing, but it's mainly those body shots. And now we see a big sort of red mark on Joet Gonzalez's right side. And just as I say that, Emanuel Navarrete gets chopped with a beautiful combination from Joet Gonzalez. And now Joet Gonzalez is getting hit with shots. Big action here in the 9th round. Both fighters putting it on, pouring on the pressure. What a fight this is. Outstanding. Both fighters throwing a lot of punches. Navarrete gets hit low again. Referee might have to start taking the point away or warning Joet Gonzalez. Yeah, Emanuel Navarrete shaking his head, getting hit again. Both of these fighters, this is a really, really close and competitive round. I think I'm going to edge it to Navarrete because the later part of this round was really, really competitive. But Navarrete did have a lot of success early on with the jab as he just lands another right hand again. So I'm going to give this 9th round to Emanuel Navarrete. Seems like final 8 seconds left of the round. Navarrete just gets hit with another right hand, then a combination from Joet Gonzalez, and that's the end of the 9th round. And I'm giving that one, as I mentioned earlier, to Emanuel Navarrete. And on my scorecard, I mean, I think it's impossible for Navarrete Joet Gonzalez just to win these next 2 rounds and still win the fight. He needs to score a couple knockdowns on my card, but the 9th round was a round that if you were bit generous, although it was a competitive round, you could give it to Joet Gonzalez, but I think Navarrete won it. If you really look at who landed the better shots and who really dictated the pace of the round, because Navarrete early on in the 9th was able to jab and land good shots, and then later on, both of them poured it on through and landed some excellent shots, put on a lot of excitement, and it was a great round. And this fight has overall been super exciting, and I mean, now they're taking a look in the corner at Joet Gonzalez. He's These corners putting a lot of Vaseline on that eye, very swollen. Oh, and it seems like, referee Ray Corona, just as I say, there was a lot of Vaseline. They're taking off some of the Vaseline on that eye, sort of under the eye, that cheek area around there. And he also has another cut on his left eye, his left eye, the right eye, that from what we see now, just as, again, another low blow. Big right hand from Navarrete and a big right hand from Gonzalez. Big action here. Navarrete here in the 10th round came out firing, and that's another low blow from Gonzalez, and that's it. Referee is going to deduct a point, it seems like. Maybe not. Maybe he's warning him. I mean, he does warn him, and he lets Gonzalez away with a warning. I think he should have deducted a point. There were so many low blows there. Just to break down the action, there was so much going on. Just after the corner wiped off the Vaseline, Navarrete came out firing, and then Navarrete got hit low, complained, and got hit again while he was complaining. And when he left his chin open, that's where you get to defend yourself at all times. And he got hit when he was complaining with his chin open, and then Navarrete got hit low again after that, after throwing some more. After throwing some more leather. Just a lot of action so far as the fight's going on. And Joet Gonzalez got to the head and to the body again. A 1-2 and an uppercut from Navarrete. Very exciting fight as of now. Navarrete throwing some more leather, more combinations. Bring it on, Navarrete. What a shot. Big combination. 1-2, followed by an uppercut again. And that's Navarrete's trademark combination. He's been throwing all night. And as of now, Joet Gonzalez doesn't really have much of an answer to it and can't really counter it too well. Navarrete gets out of the way of Joet Gonzalez's combination. Both fighters now in the clinch. The referee breaks them up. Now Navarrete gets chopped to the body with a left hook. Right hand just grazes the temple of Navarrete. Joet Gonzalez still coming forward, still fighting like the true warrior he is. What a fight between these two Mexican warriors. Gonzalez of Mexican heritage, born in California. Navarrete from Mexico. Both these fighters just pouring it on. Excellent fight. And Asha Kamat also says, if I think it's going to go the distance. And I think it is. Navarrete is really just, sorry about that, having success jabbing. As of now, it doesn't seem like he really wants to go for that knockout, but he does have bursts of power and big power surges. But I would say it's probably going to go the distance unless something crazy happens. And Navarrete is now getting hit while back up on the ropes. And Asha Kamat also said, I sound like a bright kid for my age, and to keep it up. And I truly appreciate that. Thank you for the support, and thank you for watching the stream and going along. So, Navarrete and Joet Gonzalez having a lot of success here, throwing a lot of punches. Navarrete just got hit with a beautiful flush jab towards the end here of the 10th round. Joet Gonzalez really had so much success here at the end of this 10th. The first half was really Navarrete. Second half was Gonzalez. I don't know. You could give that round to Joet Gonzalez, but I'm going to give it to Emanuel Navarrete for success early on, because Joet Gonzalez did land some nice flush shots late, mainly that power jab and the right hand. But I still think Navarrete had some more success in the earlier part as opposed to the latter part. And they're just taking a look at that low blow again that Navarrete did get hit with. And he got hit flush on the cup, it looked like. I don't know how Navarrete took that and continued right after. So, props to him for taking a shot right there. But, he continued, didn't really complain. The referee warned Gonzalez, and, we're still going strong in this fight. Going into the 11th round, Navarrete and Gonzalez. Excellent fight thus far. Seems like it's going to go the distance. A couple rounds ago, I stopped it. It was not far-fetched, but as of now, seems like it's going to go the distance. And the punches last round are 35-20 in favor of Emanuel Navarrete. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the 11th round of scheduled 12 for the WBO Featherweight Championship. Emanuel Navarrete is forward in a burst with a 1-2. Both missed. Right hand might have just grazed the left cheek area where that cut is of Joet Gonzalez. Joet Gonzalez now getting pressured back. Now he comes forward and a big left hand and a trip. The referee calls it a slip. That was definitely a slip, but the second shot was an actual shot. Navarrete got caught on Joet Gonzalez's leg again, and then when he was sort of caught up and locked in with his leg, he got chopped with a left hook from Gonzalez, and he went down. That was not a knockdown, but I mean, if the referee wasn't at the angle that he was, he could have called that a knockdown. But now Joet Gonzalez thinks he might have Navarrete hurt, and he just lands another right hand. He's coming forward, throwing beautiful combinations to the head and to the body, and yeah, and I appreciate Guapo Legendario Casanova saying I have a bright future in boxing and commentating as well. I truly appreciate that, all the support here in my first stream. I've always been wanting to do this, and I'll probably continue doing these live commentary streams. And here, Navarrete getting caught again with a right hand jab. Navarrete, right hand again. I mean, Navarrete and Gonzalez, I mean, this is like a Rock'em Sock'em Robots fight. Both fighters are backing up. Both fighters are coming forward. I mean, it's just really a fun fight. And Navarrete just got caught again with a right hand from Gonzalez flush on the chin. And, yeah, Navarrete trying to land that 1-2 when he's just coming forward and trying to counter Gonzalez. And when this probably does go the distance, I'll just turn up the volume a bit more so you guys can really hear the scorecards and stuff like that. And Asha Kamat does ask, what do I want to do in the future? And personally, I would love to manage fighters, promote fighters, and whatnot. Maybe even, be a matchmaker, whatever. I just really want to work in the sport. I've been in it since age of 5. I've been to many professional bouts, and it's just been my favorite sport for so long. And yeah, I just really would love to make a career out of it. But yeah, so I really want to be a manager or a promoter. But if, the opportunity to become a commentator comes up, I would not mind doing that at all, because it seems like a dream job that's one of my dream jobs, to just talk about boxing while making a good pay or a good paycheck. So the 11th round just ended, and Navarrete, he did sort of slip. Just reviewing that on the replay, and I'm going to give that round to Navarrete once again. Seems like Navarrete on my scorecard would be the winner, and so far I've only given Gonzalez 3 rounds, and once again they're showing Joet Gonzalez's adorable dog. I mean, I recently saw him with his dog in the locker room, and it seems like leading up to the fight, Gonzalez was calm, he was collected, and here, now he's just letting it all out in the ring. Very exciting fight. And Asha Kamat also asked UFC 2, or if I would want to commentate UFC as well. With UFC, I do watch a bit of their major events, like when it comes to like the Adesanyas, the Masvidals, the Usmans, the Nurmagomedovs, the McGregors and whatnot, Poiriers. I usually watch mainly the big fights, but I'm not too keen on like commentating UFC because I'm not really too educated on the grappling aspect. But I obviously know what a double leg takedown or a single leg takedown is and some of the submissions. But I wouldn't really say UFC as well. Boxing's really boxing's around here. The WBO Featherweight Championship. And to answer your question, I do love watching boxing. It's one of my favorite sports, or is my favorite sport. It's just so entertaining, and both fighters just put it on the line for our entertainment. It's just excellent. We saw last week Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury put on an excellent trilogy, one of the best thus far, and one of the best boxing cards. And just as I say that, Joet Gonzalez lands a right hand to the chin and temple area of Emanuel Navarrete. Navarrete getting backed up here. Joet Gonzalez having some success this round in the first minute. Just as I say that, Navarrete lands a right hand and body shots again on the ropes for Gonzalez. Gonzalez landing to the body. Referee breaks both of them up. Joet Gonzalez now attempting to get on the inside with Navarrete landing some shots to the head while trying to back up Gonzalez. Navarrete still trying to catch Gonzalez while he's attempting to get on the inside and work to the body. Navarrete just grazes Gonzalez with a right hand. Body shot now from Emanuel Navarrete. Another body shot. Big shots here in the dying embers, the last minute of the 12th and final round. Big body shots now from, sorry about that, Joet Gonzalez. Joet Gonzalez now landing to the body, to the head. Right hand now from Navarrete. Excellent fight. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to call you El Guapo Legendario. I mean, you are right. This fight is intense. It is excellent. Both fighters having a lot of success. Personally, Navarrete is edging it clear, but in my opinion, and he should be the clear winner by like a 117, 111, 116, 112, maybe 115, 113 scorecard. But it's overall an exciting fight. Sorry about that. But Navarrete now digging to the body as Gonzalez is trying to get on the inside. Last 16 seconds of the 12th and final round. What a fight this was. Excellent fight. My first ever live commentary. I mean, this was an outstanding fight to commentate and talk about with you guys all watching. Navarrete getting chopped to the body and to the head. Gonzalez pouring it on in the last 10 seconds. And what a fight. It is over. The 12th and final round. The bell sounds. Fight is over. I'm giving that one to Joet Gonzalez. I think that Gonzalez landed the better shots in that 12th round, was more composed, more put together. And yeah, I think he won that round. So overall, I think I have it 116-112 in favor of Emanuel Navarrete. I'm just going to tabulate my scorecard right now. Yeah, 116-112 in favor of Emanuel Navarrete. We will see how the judges have it. Yeah, Joet Gonzalez did surprise me. I didn't expect him to come forward and have that much success pressing Emanuel Navarrete, but he did. He put on a great performance and really showed that he's really, really showed that he's a real top 15, top 10 contender, really a top 10 contender in the featherweight division. I just turned up the volume just a bit so we were able to hear these scorecards when they ultimately come, so you guys are. So, yeah, Jaguar putting some boxing gloves in the chat. What a fight this was. And I just want you guys to drop down in the chat who you thought won this fight, your scorecards if you were scoring it. Yeah, excellent fight. Now they have a split screen now set up on both fighters. Gonzalez has a cut on, obviously, his right cheek under his eye. It sort of swelled up a lot. He has two cuts on that big mouse under his eye, his right eye around there. He also has a cut around the brow area vertically, and he also has another cut, but without the swelling, on his left cheek under his eye. And he's also bleeding out of his nose. Navarrete does have a bit of a swollen face, but I mean, it's not really much. It's just minor swelling at best. But what a fight this was. Excellent fight. Both fighters put a lot out there. And Mark Chinook does have the decision, so we're going to hear it right now. One judge has a 118-110. And the last two judges have a 116-112. And still champion, Emanuel Navarrete gets the job done. And El Guapo Legendario says that, sorry about that, that he also had a 116-112 Navarrete. And that seemed like it was the right score. I also had it 116-112 Navarrete. Judges had it 118-110 and 116-112 twice in favor of Navarrete. So overall, Emanuel Navarrete defeats Joet Gonzalez by unanimous decision, getting his 35th victory and successfully defending his WBO featherweight world title for the second time. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thank you guys all for watching my first ever live commentary stream. I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later.